All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Racecraft TV, where tonight we're bringing you the 4th annual VORTEX Misadventure Group Therapy 100 presented by Jim Beaver eSports. Hope you're all having a wonderful day after Christmas, Boxing Day, whatever you want to refer it to. Hope you're having a very, very happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing a lot of fun here this evening at Crandon International Raceway. I say we're getting everything all loaded up here. Drivers, as you can see, there have about a minute left in qualifying before we get things underway. Say a quick introduction to myself. My name is Kyle Brooks. I'll be calling the shots here tonight. I'll be definitely pulling in a bunch of drivers here over the course of the event as well. That way I get to talk to some of these drivers who have a lot of different things going on. Some just racers, some Coke racers, some working for iRacing. And of course we'll get to chat with our top drivers in each category, which will include the Pro 4 trucks, the Pro 2 trucks, and then the Subaru rally cars and the VW Beetle Lite rally cars. And those will be the 4 classes going after each other. You'll see, once we get the timing and scoring set up, you'll see kind of the class of cars on the list for you to find where your class of cars are, and then hopefully again try to find your favorite drivers on that list as well. So again, right now, say just about finish up our qualifying, and then we'll pull up that starting grid here in just one moment. And before we get to that, though, let's pull up our track map and facts. And you can see here, well, no track facts, just track map, I should say, at Crandon International Raceway. And so you can see the track here, and it is going to be that land rush start that we just talked about, and that's going to be heading into turn number 4. Or out of turn number 4, I'm sorry, down the straightaway, and then heading into that right-hander turn number 5. Then you can see also at turn number 7, that is the pit entry and exit. Drivers will be required to make a couple pit stops for fuel, and of course that all-important driver swap as well, as everybody will have at least 2 to 3 drivers in their vehicles. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun here this evening. Alright, qualifying looks like has just about finished up. I think everybody's finishing up their final laps for tonight. And we've got a lot of vehicles. Looks like I've got 40, I'm sure about 43 possibly in the field here tonight. And right now, from what I'm seeing, it looks like it's going to be pretty much the Subarus and the Pro 4s at the top of the heap. And then it'll be the battle of the Beetles a little further down there. And then and we'll kind of see where all the Pro 2s are as well. But definitely the majority I think you're going to see tonight are going to be the Subarus, the Pro 4s, and the Beetles. Definitely a solid contingent for those. And again, we'll be bouncing around a lot. We'll try to keep track of everything going on. There's so much going on here tonight. But again, really want to give a big thank you to Jim Beaver eSports with that Misadventure group as well. So just a lot of fun that they're able to kind of sponsor us to bring it on. And of course, big thank you to Chris Leone and Yes to Motorsport for putting this event on. I've got to drive it. I've got to broadcast it. And it's just so much fun. It's always a laugh. And I'm looking forward to being able to pull, kind of be able to call the show here again one more time. All right, I think drivers are just about to grid here. In any moment, so we want to get everybody ready because that's going to be pretty exciting to start this thing off here. Page. This is what we want to see, is going to be this land rush here down the front stretch. And and it is going to be just a full-on just land rush. Yeah, the land rush is the wild start, but again, it's so much fun here. Looks like gridding has just about completed. Everybody's going to start waiting for that light to turn off, and then you'll see them all launch off. Everybody's starting. You can see that little tiny lunge, and we are down and away. 1 hour, 40 minutes here, 100 minutes at this Crandon International Speedway as everybody's ramping their way up and through the field. And it looks like Sean Winkler, is going to get through, but we got chaos out back. A couple cars already up and over. And I say this is the land rush start that we were just talking about. Unfortunately, some of these guys further back not having a good time there. And you can see there's a Subaru there, Josh Clog, trying to get unsettled, but we got hoods flying everywhere, and unfortunately a quick toes right off the bat. But it looks like right now, so we're waiting for everything to update, but right now this, I believe, is going to be right around the very front of the fat pack here with this 348 and the 90 of Evan McFarlane, Brody Duscher trying to go for it there. And yeah, it's all kicking off here right off the bat. Oh, we got trouble a little further back there. I think that was Christian Noble. Looks like he's hung onto it. A little bit of contact there. That is with yours truly, Chris Leone there in that 112. Great start for him. He'll be chatting with us a little later on in the evening. And so you can see there on the left side our timing and scoring orders. Let's say that top car is going to be the leader in class. Then from there, it's going to be second, third, and so on. And say we're going to. Right now, Evan McFarlane is our overall leader, but again, we talked about the Subarus. They're very quick, but not as heavy as those Pro 4 trucks. And there goes Brody. They're able to kind of just move him out of his way. And that's going to be the one thing that these Subarus are going to have to handle is it's that extra weight, basically, of these Pro 4s because they can easily get bullied around in this thing. Again, we'll be jumping around throughout the course of the race. Oh, we got one truck there upside down in the background. Let's say we're focusing right now on Josh Edmondson now in that 199. I'll say he is up. Oh, he's got contact with Chris Leone as they were just talking about Chris. Now they make contact, and unfortunately, it looks like Leone getting the worst out of that one, and so that's going to drop him down the running order. So right now that moves Sean Winkler now to the first running Subaru, and then we're going to jump a little further on back here, try to find our top running Subaru. That is going to be right here, that number 555 of Chris Lunan. Right behind him is the 555 of John Borst. And you can see, I believe, I'll say he's going to give me a hard time here, but I believe that is the, oh no, I'm sorry, that's the correct paint scheme there. I thought that was the summer scheme. That's the winter scheme. You can see the ugly sweater there and the green trim. I have it with good knowledge that this is one of the favorite paint schemes of Mrs. Leone, so always got to give that one a little bit of love. And in that process, he's taken the point there in that Beetle. So I'll move John Borst right now to the point here early in this race. But again, lots of racing to go. And you can see he's got the competition right next to him, right behind him. Almost gets jumped on there by the 16. And you can see fighting with that Jurassic Park Subaru as well. And so again, you're fighting anything and everything here tonight at this track. And we're going to jump to our leading Pro 2 truck. And that is this driver right here. That is Solomon. I'm, again, butchering names, I apologize. Solomon Borschinger, I believe it's going to be. Right now he is in that top spot for the Pro 2s, I believe, in that number 298. And then again, we'll be jumping around as best as we can. The timing and scoring is going everywhere right now. Let's say drivers are towing and all that, so it kind of jumps them to the front of the grid and makes it hard to try to keep up with who's where in this race. But from what I can tell, though, right now our top runner is this guy right there, Evan McFarlane. I apologize. And there's Brody right behind him, and then here's Sean Winkler again. These Subarus, I think, will be a very, very viable shot for being the top step of the podium here tonight, not just in class, but in overall. And right now, look for second in class in the Subarus. That is this 000 right here, and that is Klaus Kreutzer, and he is right now, again, in 11th overall, but second in class with those Subarus. So he's got a little ways to go to get to that 148 of Sean Winkler. So we'll keep an eye on him again over the course of this one. As Chris Leone talked about him, he is down now to 22nd, having to try to recover. The other thing to mention is with these cars, they have fat repairs, but these cars also kind of auto repair themselves. So you'll see a car lose a wheel or fenders or whatever, and then you'll see them kind of magically be all better again. That's because of the way that this race is set up. These cars are able to kind of re-heal themselves, if you will. The issue that happens later on in the situations is if somebody gets flipped or things like that and they can't get back on the wheels, at that point they likely will have to tow to the pits unless they can get maybe a little bit of a helping hand. Maybe somebody's able to flip them back over and have a chance at it. We'll jump around here a little bit. So we got to try to find some more drivers to chat about. And like I said, if you've got a favorite driver here on YouTube, by all means, please let me know the driver, the name, the car number, whatever you've got, or because like I said, I'm more than willing to try to find everybody here. I always try to poke around some people that I try to find. All right, so the Adam McAfee Team Platinum Pro 2 trucks. So let's try to see if we can find Adam over here in this one. Not sure if Adam was the starting driver or not. But yeah, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on them as well. And if you have the truck number, that would be awesome as well. Like I said, I'm having to bounce around a little bit on that one. But I say we'll do those. Let's just run through the trucks or all the vehicles we have on track right now. We'll get everybody a little bit of love. We just talked about Evan Fairlane right now, our overall leader. And there's, again, that 348 of Brody Deutscher in that 90. Sean Winkler chasing him back down in the number 148. Continuing on, then you got Josh Edmondson in the number 99 truck, and he is being hounded by Tom Grady there in his number 35 Pro 4. And then you see right there across Kirchmeier, and I say right now in that 75 truck in 6th. Well, 7th at the moment. Good fight between he and Christian Noble. Right now, Zach Blanche has that 7th spot. Christian Noble in 8th in that number 946. Then go back to Banks Hovey here a little further back. That is our 9th position truck in the 169. And we just talked about Klaus right there in the 000 there in 10th. Then we got the number 14 of Eli Singh, 11th. Cole Freilich in 12th. You see Cole in a very tight battle there with Dennis Crosby there as they make door-to-door contact. Continuing down there, then you got Diego Cayón in the number 00. And I can see the sponsors on that one. I think that's going to make Cleo very happy. One of her own in the field representing her group. So yeah, with the Skur squad. So good to see him here tonight. And then you got the number 16 of Mladen Lakovic in the 16. Talked about Solomon just a little bit ago in that 298. He is in 16th. John Matthews here in the Lightning McQueen 95 truck. Right now in 17th position, showing as 18 positions gained from his starting spot. I think the highest climber so far from his starting spot. Zach Mitchell in the number 55. Got to chat with him and his teammate a little bit earlier. And so you can see right there, they've got the New Zealand on there. They got Sheepshagger on the hood. Let's say these guys they're kind of trying to figure out who's going to be the starter for that Land Rush start. And it looks like Zach got the nod in the end to run that one. And then JP Delfino here, Defino in the number 554. He's taken now the point in the Volkswagens as the overall leader in that group. Chris Lunan, they're not too far behind here in that 555. And say you got Crime Pace, but Sim Racing doesn't. They're kind of a Miami Vice looking paint scheme there. And that's the other thing. We'll have to get some love and look at these paint schemes over the course of the event. Got Nate Stewart here in that 67. We will be chatting with Nate a little later on in this one as he's right ahead of Chris Leone. Just talked about him a little bit earlier. Although you see right here the Volkswagen Josh Mertz, he's gotten around him now. So move Josh up a spot overall over Chris. Then you got Bobby Blowers there in the Subaru in that 134. Joseph Sullivan here in the Beetle in, again, right pinched between a couple trucks behind him, Subaru in front of him. John Nobinger's that truck that's right behind him in that bright green and yellow. And they got Jimmy Monch here in the 294. Again, I'm probably butchering names. I really apologize. And James Watson there in the 539 machine. Although just ahead of him actually was Don Runkle Jr. just sneaking by there. Saw a little wobble there down the backstretch in the Blue Oyster machine. He'll be teaming up with Ricky Harden. And then we talked about the Beetle class leader a little earlier, John Borst. He's actually now fallen back in the order, unfortunately. Again, stuff happens so quick, so unfortunately he's fallen back a little bit. We got Matthew Morris here in that Subaru. Victor Valley in the 582 VW Beetle as well. Marcus Hagman here. Say that's a fun combo there. You got all the colors, you got the teeth on there as well. And say that's another one for the Clio team there. You can see the Skur on the side. So again, her team representing here this evening. Always good to see them. Jeff Coburn in the Probe Nation 591 VW Beetle. Good to see him on track as well. Saying there's a very handsome fella there on the hood of that machine. Josh Clogg in the 113 right now is in the 35th spot overall. And right behind him a little bit there's the Dunkin' Donuts machine of Jared Michaud right now in 36th. Then got Lith Fox in that Jurassic Park Subaru we talked about a little earlier. Don't jump over to Brian Sawyer there as he is in 38th. Jake Robichaux in that, was that Slaypex Racing if I saw that correctly. Cody Harrison in the 245 Team AMX truck, the Blind Ducks. Then got Brian Sabelski in his Beetle with looks like OK Motorsports. You got McConey Setup Shop on there as well. And then unfortunately Ian Monroe, not a good start for him right now. He is almost tail end right now. He's one spot at the back. And unfortunately at the moment, oh actually no, he's on, of the cars on track right now, he is in the back, the last car on track. And then see if we can actually get a view here of Rylan Barkhouse in pit road in that Ghost truck as well. And that's our field here tonight. Let's go back up front because we've still got this battle going on here. And these two are going at it very aggressively. Look at Evan, they're trying to get up against him. Can't quite get there. Let's hop on board here with that truck as we'll watch the... See, we see the slide job. He tries to hold him off. We'll see who can get the throttle down quicker. Right now, it is still neck and neck between Evan and Brody. These guys are having a hell of a fight between the two of them. And right now, Brody's going to hang on to that spot, but Evan is not going to give it up easy. They got a Volkswagen. Oh, they split the Volkswagen. Oh, there's the contact from the Subaru. That's going to force Evan to have to regroup here and try to gather back up and chase Brody back down. And that's what's going to happen in this. You're going to have to deal with some traffic, and at times in good spots, at times it's going to be really bad for you. And again, there's an hour and 40 minutes of this chaos, so it's going to be a lot of fun to watch how this all goes. So I think I'm going to try to hunt down my first victim tonight, and that is going to be a certain Justin Millo. So let me grab him on over here. All right, so let's see if we can pull him in real quick. So we're going to grab Justin Millo as we're watching Klaus there in pit road. I say, Justin, it's been obviously, as always, a very busy start. I say, I'm trying to find your teammate now in the running order because so much is going on. There's Nate. How's the start of the race been? And I'll say, are you trying to crew chief him, keep him calm, or what's the plan?
Yeah, it's been pretty chaotic out here as a
goodness
truck flipping. Oh my goodness. No, that wasn't even a truck. I think it was a Subaru. We were doing really good. Nate was keeping it under control. I think we were only like 8 seconds behind the lead for a little bit there, and like maybe a lap and a half ago, we got stuck in this exact section of the track right here, it's unfortunate because I think we're down in like 10th now after running most of the start of this race up in the 2nd to 5th position. So that was a great start.
They split a Beetle that was spun out, and then another car appeared, and it kind of pushed off the 2nd place guy. Now he has to regroup, chase him back down. And I mean, is that one of those things where you just have to try to adjust a little bit and just like, hey, we know it's going to come back to us, or how do you manage that?
Well, honestly, I know I came into this not really expecting to race for the win, and I told Nate that straight up. This is my 4th time. I've raced in this every single season, and it's always a blast to just be out there on the track. My shtick is that I'm always slow and in the way, and I know whenever I was going to get in the car, it was going to drop us down the order. So I wasn't really expecting too much anyway. I'm just looking for a fun time. I'm looking for a good time, not a good finish, is what I like to always say. But yeah, it's been good so far to us. We're on the lead lap, which is more than what anyone could ask for in these types of multi-class races and any type of racing that you do. So it's still a long way to go. We'll see what happens.
I'm relearning. I apologize. I say relearning I forgot some of the ATVO stuff where it's a little picky about the voice chat. So no, I was mentioning though that Justin, we saw there Nate was having to do a little bit of traffic management, and one of those things that we talk about especially with the Beetles is obviously they're a little lighter, they're very nimble through the turns, but then you got that reduced power, so you can really work the guys through the turns, but then down the straightaways you kind of get a little bit bullied. I mean, is that kind of one of those things? It's like, all right, we got him. Then you get those 2 straightaways, and then it's like, oh man, here we go again.
Yeah, it's a fun dynamic racing with all these different types of vehicles because I mean, the Subarus are just they're just bigger and they're faster as soon as you get the power down. So it's like it's always going to be a losing battle with those guys, but we could kind of hold them up a little bit in the tight technical corners. So they get angry at us, and then we get angry at them when they, try to move us out of the way. And it's like, well, what are we gonna do? We can't do anything because it's just the nature of it. And then the trucks, of course, both the trucks are just insane to race around because I call it like we're racing on down 95, but on dirt. And I never like driving around the trucks when I'm on the highway. So it's like I said before, it's a fun dynamic with how this goes, and Yes2 always puts on a fantastic show, and I'm always so happy to be a part of it every year.
But yeah, so before we let you go, Justin, I say I know obviously I can only poke and prod so much, but let's say with you working with iRacing, curious to see if any things that you're able to kind of reveal, or any exciting things that we're looking forward to seeing coming up in that 2025 season?
I work with mostly the esports side of everything that's going on at iRacing, so I'm really looking forward to. We've got both the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series starting back up right at the beginning of the year, as well as the Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup. Those are two of our biggest series that we run every year, and both of them right off the bat, we're going to be kicking off the calendar with that. So. I'm looking forward to seeing how guys like Nate, who's my teammate tonight, is going to do in the eNASCAR draft that's happening pretty soon, and then all the other, I think there are 48 drivers that are going to be also going into that draft pool with him. But I'm interested to see how that goes for the first time. Interested to see how the Porsches do on the different tracks that they have on their schedule this season. It's going to be a lot of fun, as well as all the other great esports that we have going on this season. Still, we're in the middle of IMSA esports, and we're also don't want to leave my dirt friends out in the hanging there, but Dirt Oval, specifically the World of Outlaws, still has, I believe, 4 more races to go in their season as well. So we're right in the middle of all that action. A lot of fun. Really enjoy working with the esports side of the iRacing community and all that. So lots of fun, and looking forward to it.
I appreciate your time. And so we saw there Nate has made pit stop number 1, so it's a strategy might be picking up here. So we're going to let you get back over to him and have some fun over there. So but yeah, I appreciate you taking the time, though, Justin, to chat. And yeah, good luck on your stint. And I say definitely, again, thank you for everything that you've been helping us with on, like you said, on the esports side of things with iRacing. It's a lot of fun, like you mentioned. So watching all these guys, I mean, again, and the prizes that these esports drivers are able to go for. Like I say, for me, I'm more familiar with the Coke series. It's incredible what you guys have been able to put on. So definitely a big good luck to Nate here. Hopefully he can get a good season coming up there in 25.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, that was Justin Millo there. He is working with Nate Stewart. He is with the FTF team. And see a big wiggle there. So we're going to jump back up front because now we have a new overall leader, and that is that Subaru of Sean Winkler. And I'm not sure. I don't believe Sean has pitted yet. Again, all these cars are going to have different fuel levels and capacities and starting at different levels. So that's going to be one of those things we're going to have to keep an eye on over the course of this race. But I believe pretty much everybody else has made a pit stop, and I think we can actually check that. Let's take a look here. And actually, I am proven wrong. You can see so far it looks like all drivers have made a pit stop to kick off this race. So yeah, so it looks like pit stops have begun. You can see also there Chris Leone, he's worked his way back up to 3rd in class now. But again, you got JP Defino there in the 554. He is currently in the it's like he's the leading VW, I should say. I apologize. Let's get back to our correct time and scoring. And so I've got pulled up here now. This is going to be the intervals to the classes. So you can see right now Sean Winkler there leading his class, and so he's got about 44 seconds to Eric Dubois right now, who is in 2nd place in class. So Eric has a lot of time to make up to get back up here to try to have a chance at Sean. And of course, like I said, the Pro 4 truck, so that's a very tight battle right now. I mean, you've got them all right on top of each other pretty much here. That's big slide there. That's going to open up something here for Josh Edmondson. Can he capitalize? No, he has a little bit of a slide there too. And so Evan's going to hold on to that spot for the moment as there's the Jurassic Park Subaru sliding right in front of him. And again, this is what these guys are going to be dealing with this entire hour and 40 minutes now, an hour 15 left in the event. But yeah, this is what they're going to be working on over the course of this whole event. All right, I think we have someone else ready to pop in over here. So we're going to grab this Trevor Teal fella, saying you have to help me hunt down your car number here, Trevor, so I can find you and give you some love on the broadcast. Or actually, no, you're working with the old Leone, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, you've had an up and down start. I mean, Lini was killing it there. He was up in the top 2, I want to say, on the Subaru side of things. And then we were kind of running through the order, and we saw him at least once kind of go flying around. It's hard to catch everything happening here. But recovering well, looks like up to 3rd in class now. Only about, looks like 7 seconds off of the Eric Dubois. But you got some work to catch Sean Winkler. So what's the game plan here for the remainder, hour 15 you got?
Oh, so our number one goal is to have fun. And that's happening, kind of, so far. Yeah, he got a killer start. And then went flying to the moon. And it was really fun to watch. But, yeah, I don't know. We were just going to hold on and see what happens. I think we're currently leading the class points, so we want to try to win. But there's I don't know how many cars are out there, but there's a lot of cars and it's scary.
I think there's in the 43-ish, 44 range. Let's say if all cars are on track, looks like 44. So yeah, you've got plenty of traffic going around you. I saw it right there. Actually, looks like Chris has gone and popped on the windshield wipers there for a moment to get things going. So we'll watch him on board here going down into that hairpin. And so again, you guys have the unlimited cars versus the Beetle Lights, a little bit, little less obviously power there. And then obviously the Pro 4s and then the Pro 2s. I mean, is there a vehicle that is the bigger difficulty of working with or against, I guess, in this case, to work the traffic on?
Yeah, so driving the Subaru in general is the hardest. Like, there's no grip, you're sliding everywhere, and you're pretty much just like holding on for life. The best car, I think, to drive on like these type of races is definitely the Beetle Lite. Like, it doesn't have enough power to like spin the wheels that much, so you get a lot more grip, and it ends up being the fastest vehicle, I feel like.
Yeah, so I've definitely seen the Beetles seem to be a very popular choice tonight, especially. I've seen a lot of Beetles here. I think the Beetles and Subarus may be the top 2 cars in this one tonight. I say a lot of guys that I hang out with and race with a lot, they seem to typically run the Beetle Lights. It's kind of our own little fight within a fight where we want to be the kind of the top of our group of friends, if you will. And actually, I say in this whole process while we've been chatting, it looks like Chris has actually jumped up now to 2nd spot in class. So say maybe the good luck on the interviews, as I think that may have been Nick Cohan spinning around there in his Beetle Light, and so that's going to cost him some time. And like I said, I mean, this is now just where everything, again, just you gotta try to pick and choose kind of when you can make the moves. And I mean, obviously the Subarus, I feel like, are you guys maybe the fastest straight line car, or is that maybe still on the Pro 4 side?
It's hard to say. I mean, the Pro 4s have the better grip. They end up gripping better with it being dirt, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
All right, so I have Cam Peterson popping in chat. He wants to know the point standings going into tonight. So I don't know if you have those numbers handy by chance.
I actually don't, but good to see you, Cam. That's actually one of my drivers over on channel 199, so good to see you.
And I'm going to poke around. I'll see if I can find it over the course of all this chaos. I know I saw Chris post it somewhere, but there's been a lot of chatter going on for this event, so it's hard to find, as he's going to do a little bit of off-roading, and not the off-roading you want him to do, but looks like gathers it back up nicely. So, yeah, I'd say it's really good, obviously, to have you popping in. I don't know if any other insight you want to give, or you got to keep some secrets behind yourself, but of course, like you mentioned, though, with Cam being one of the teammates, I don't know if you want to give anybody some love as well while you got the moment.
Oh, yeah, definitely over all the guys over at channel 199. I mean, we're a few races into IMSA right now. We've got 2 cars running in that. We're gearing up for eNASCAR coming up. It's going to be a crazy season. This will be our 2nd season doing that. Dylan got us a win last year, so looking to get more of those this year. All the guys over at Racecraft too. They're always working with us and making sure we're on our toes. So big shout out to them. And we're having fun. Can't wait to see what's in store for 2025.
Yeah, no, you got it. Sounds like you have a really good group of guys with you, so it's gonna be fun to see. Obviously, always look forward to this event, but I'll say this is one of those ones where you get to maybe blow off the steam a little bit before you get back into the full tilt racing. Oh, as I say that,
Wow.
big trouble! He just sneaks by there. You saw the Beetle up on its lid, but Chris is gonna come through unscathed on that one. That's one of those ones where you feel like you're probably not gonna get that luck too many times over the course of these ones.
Yeah, that's definitely a pucker moment. But yeah, real quick, just want to thank Channel 199, Racecraft, my dad, my girlfriend, and yeah, you for doing the broadcast. Thanks, man.
No problem, Trevor. Like I said, good luck. I say to you and Chris. Hopefully he keeps that car in one piece. That way he can go do some damage in the second half.
Yeah, we'll see. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Good luck, man. All right, that is Trevor Teal, one of the drivers in that number 112 car, driven right now by Chris Leone. And he mentioned some of those guys in the Channel 199 side. And I'm peeking around trying to find where they are. And actually, Leone's in pit road now. This is going to be his second scheduled stop, I believe. And now, of course, this is also the hard part. You got to make sure you find that pit stall. Don't have to throw it in reverse. Looks like he has done so. You see a few more cars starting to peel off. So it looks like second round of pit stops starting to kick off. And also that, yep, also you see that's now brought the Beatles position a little bit. JP DeFino still leading, but you can see he's moving up the order now. He is up to 12th overall. Josh Mertz not too far behind. They're only about 10 seconds back in his Beetle. So I say everything's starting to mix up just that little bit. I say what we haven't done either is given some love to our Pro 2s. So we're going to try to see if I can hunt down our top Pro 2 driver at the moment. So I just got to wait, unfortunately, for my timing scoring to update, because unfortunately on my end, all I see is the Pro 4, or all the off-road logo. I don't get to see who's actually which vehicle. So, but I can tell you right now, those top three, I should say, in the Pro 4s. We mentioned Evan McFarlane, Josh Edmondson. Actually, Josh is one I was hunting down there. He is right now second overall here in that 99 truck, and then Tom Grady is third in overall class. All right. Yeah, so Cam, I'm trying to hunt down the points, but unfortunately, I say if I do that, I'll be kind of silent for too long, and that'll be a little awkward on the broadcast side of things. So I'll say, unfortunately, I don't have it handy, but as soon as I get some info, I will definitely relay it over to you guys, and I'm sure Chris and all the teams will be kind of crunching the numbers as quick as they can. So, but yeah, right now everything's looking pretty solid up front for these guys. Right now, the 148 Sean Winkler continues to lead. The Subaru class is 4th overall. And then continuing down here, looking to see where some of our other drivers are. Trying to see if we can find some of our higher climbers. Right now, I'm showing our highest climber right now is this truck here, is that Lightning McQueen 95 of John Matthews, showing up 20 spots in that number 95. Another high climber is in front of him, actually, Diego Cayón. He is up 17 spots in that 00 machine. And a little further down, Don Runkle Jr., he is up to 20th. As I said, unfortunately, catch him right during a barrel roll. He's going to try to keep the momentum built up and then get back out on the track. Got to find where he went off track to get back on. I say it's one of those things, there's a lot happening. You can get easily turned around. And unfortunately, that's going to cost him a little more spots. And oh, that's right in front of Josh Edmondson. That sends Josh off. And now Josh is going to have to regroup and get back after. That allowed Tom Grady to get on by there. So that's going to give him a free spot there. So again, I always joke about commentators cursing. So Don, I apologize for that for you and for Josh. Actually, speak of which, Josh is going to hit pit road right now. Victor Valley as well here. He is up 18 spots in that 582 Beetle. And he is working in the top 5 in class for him. And then mentioned, obviously chatted with Nate Stewart a little bit, or sorry, Nate Stewart's teammate, I should say, Justin Millo. Looks like Nate has worked his way up into, I believe, now 3rd in class in that number 67. So going well right now for that FTF machine. Oh, I got you now, Cam. Okay. Yeah, we'll see if we can. We'll see if we can work those points, then get him over your way. Like I said, maybe I'm sure Chris isn't above some bribery, but yeah. So what we'll do again is say we did this last time, and actually, hopefully this will come up well for you guys on the broadcast as well. Is we're gonna actually pull up our info. run through all these drivers here. And so we're going to kick it off with Evan McFarlane here in that 348 right now is our leader. Currently first, obviously highest first, lowest he has been is in the 4th position there in that truck. Then we'll jump back to Tom Grady, who is second in class, as he is right now second highest that, well, say currently second. It shows highest is third. Obviously, when the lap changes, that'll update that to second. Lowest he's been down is into ninth position. Apologize. Then we go to Sean Winkler. Again, this is overall, I should say as well. Right now, Sean third overall, obviously first in class, has been down into the 12th position as the lowest. Then you got Cross Kirchmeier here in 4th in that number 75, the Fighting Mongooses. You all see the team names there underneath. Zach Blanche there. 10mm sockets, you can never find them when you need them. But hopefully that 29 is able to find all their sockets and keep them handy to the end of this one. Just talked about Josh Edmondson there in the 99. Had a little bit of a moment. He's hit pit road. He's back out as well with that Channel 199 team as well. Then we've got the 16 of, again, I apologize. I know I'm butchering names here. But I say we got Mladen Lakovic there in Golgotha Esports and Broadcasting in that number 16 truck. They are running in 7th place overall. Talked about JP DeFino a little earlier there. We got Saints and Sinners Racing by TWRS. They are in 8th place overall. Really good run for them. And then the next car for position for them in class is Josh Mertz, right now in 9th position. You can see their lowest 34th, so great climbs for him from where they've been at some point in this event. Then we'll jump to 10th here. Joel Ulrich there in Boozy Racing. Right now the last car in top 10 overall. Then our fearless leader here, Chris Leone in the PLT Motorsports number 112. Right now in 11th overall. Then Dennis Crosby in the 22 truck. That is 12th place, turn 3 eSports for them, as they are 12th overall at the moment. Keenan Kuzin, definitely a familiar name for me. I believe on the off-road side of things, I feel like I've definitely heard this name plenty of times in the broadcasting stuff I'm able to watch and follow. Right now in the 13th spot in that number 14 truck. Then you got Matthew Morris here in Squadra Stunzed, currently 14th. 15th, you got Joseph Sullivan in BDSM Moving Chicanes. So again, these guys always have some fun paint schemes and names, and say teammates with Ricky Harden, I believe, and Son Runkle Jr., if I'm not mistaken, or maybe a sister team, actually, now that I'm looking at it, as that was close there between he and that truck there coming out of the hairpin. Victor Valley, just talked about him a little earlier there as well. JC Academy in the 582 in 16th position. He's now up 22 spots. Behind him for position will be, the next truck will be John Matthews in that 95. Just talked about him a little bit earlier. He's been gaining spots as well, up 18 positions. Then you got Taylor Dixon in that 00 truck, and that is the Pit Bros Skr Squad machine. Right now up 13 spots. Talked about Nate Stewart a few times already. Got the FTF group here in the number 19 position. And then now we'll see how it sticks, but put the 19th spot now over to Josh Clogg in OSS Racing Division, as they're going to go 3 wide here down the front. And it looks like he's going to hang on to that spot, as again he's going to try to put himself between 2 trucks. It's not going to go to plan. You can see that car's got the broken suspension, but it's going to fix itself, and he'll continue on his way. That's going to gain some track time here for Bobby Blowers. Try to catch him back up to those guys in PBR Racing 2. And then right behind him is going to be Taylor Dixon in that 00. We just talked about Taylor. He's getting some extra TV time. It's like, you never know what's happening where on track. And same thing for that 95 there. So, yeah, trying to keep up with all these guys. We got right here Solomon Borschinger in Last Minute Shoppers in 21st spot, but up 11 positions. And then behind is John Nobinger here. That is in CRN Racing, the 242 truck, in 22nd. Noah Carmichael right behind in East Coast Auto Sport, currently in 23rd in that number 25. Dave Hayes in the 90 right there in that mix as well. And Horizon Off-Road here. And it looks like, yep, going to hold on to that 25th for the moment. Then you got Jeff Coburn here in Procrastinators in that 591 working with Chris Leone. Looks like Chris is going to get the power out, though, as they sit in 26th position. Further back, you've got John Borst here in the Snoop There It Is machine. He is going to be working with Paul Nelson this evening. John started off the race. Looks like Paul's going to bring home to the end. And so right now, John showing 27th overall in that number 500. Then we go to the 294 here of Pacey Wigent in that 294 PBR Racing, and very nicely colorful truck there. So easily one to stick out in the crowd to be able to find that one on track. Then you got Ben Bream here in the 150, that Jurassic Park machine. We've seen that one have a little bit of adventures over the course of this one. Then we go back to James Watson in that 539 Beetle with Team Watson Racing Bug Lite. Matthew Grove in the 472 Slapex Racing Team in 33rd position. We got Marcos Palacio here in the 535 Move Over It's Speedy Time machine. Continuing on, then we've got Don Marco Jr., BDSM Blue Oyster. Saw the sister car there a little earlier. Right now they are in 35th. Again, we saw up front, and then as I was watching them, unfortunately had some hiccups, but sticking with it, and that's the name of the game in this one. Is you're gonna have stuff's gonna happen. There's no way around it, as he's gonna give a little bit of a hip check there to that 242. Then we'll go to Blake Jackson here in that 222. And that is the Skr Squad Cool Balloons. Right now, Blake driving there in that one. Looks like he is in 36th overall at the moment. Then we jump back to the 555 of Joseph. That's a Degiacomo, I apologize. Crime pays, but sim racing doesn't. And yeah, well, doesn't pay, but sim racing definitely costs a lot. I'm pretty sure all of us can attest to that. 585 of Cody Ware in OK Motorsports right now is in 38th position. See that Subaru there spinning around there in the background. I just saw a driver change here for the 524. Went from Jared Michaud to Dan Walker. That is the Loose is Fast Sim Sports entry. And then we'll jump over to that 169 of Banks Hovey right now in the 40th spot. Nick Nowak here in the 41st position. And say you see they're as high as 25th, so definitely some things have occurred to them to drop them back in that Team AMX machine. Then you got Ryland Barkhouse here in Capital eSports running in the 42nd position. Ian Monroe here in that 316. And say you can see right now hasn't been the best of nights so far for them, and if the timing scoring is right, it shows that they've just been kind of hanging 43rd pretty much from the get-go. So that kind of tells that there's something that happened right off the bat, just haven't been able to recover from it here, unfortunately. All right, so we ran through the field, and as I say that, I'm not sure what happened there with Sean Winkler. That thing just kind of came to a quick, so I'm going to go back, see if we can take another quick look at it here. I say, we'll pick it up full speed, though, to see, but that car just kind of stopped. Oh, that's why. There was contact. And again, that's our overall leader, so he's trying to loop this thing around, get going, and I was trying to figure out why the speed difference. And, right there's the contact there. And we're just talking about Ian Monroe not having much luck, and that just kind of showed it right there, as we'll jump back live here. But yeah, so that's what happened. That was where that difference of speed kind of popped up, trying to figure that all out. So right now, Sean, now our overall leader. Josh Edmondson is now in second place overall, first in class, as he's now been able to jump Evan McFarlane in that 345. And then Aiden Irvin here is third in class overall. And that said, though, we chatted earlier about the Beetle Lights. Some guys are saying that might be the fastest car towards the end of this thing. And so let's jump back, because here's JP DeFino. He is 7th overall now in that Beetle Light. So they might be onto something here, because right now he is up into that 13 spots gained into 7th spot. And I believe, let me see if I can pull up our timing and scoring, see if I can get you some lap times here. All right, so here are our lap times. So again, all these laps are going to really jump around based on traffic and things of that nature. But again, we saw the issue that Sean Winkler had the previous lap. That shows him that 122.570 lap. And so just based on that, basically Josh Edmondson gained 6 seconds on him just from that little hiccup there. But yeah, right now the fastest car, that previous lap up front, is going to be McFarlane there in the 348. But then again, I'm looking at Defino there, 1:18.016. So there's definitely pace in that car. As you can see, the Leone here getting on by him. He was last up about a half a second quicker than JP. So right now, Leone's trying to chase Sean back down, because now they are, like I mentioned, they are second in class here in that 112. So like I said, you never know if you catch somebody wrong, if you wind up on your lid and not able to flip back over, you're going to have to take a tow, and that's going to completely change the complexion of your race. Oh, see, and right on cue there, Cam, you talked about the Beetles being the most efficient. Here comes Leone, another pit stop here with 55 minutes to go. So, yeah, like I said, the Subaru's just drinking the fuel while the Beetles maybe sipping them. And maybe it's a weight thing, or just, like I said, just the way that also the horsepower reductions and such. So, yeah, so maybe the reduced amount of times on pit road, will we see maybe a Beetle overall winner potentially? So, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what will be the ways to go about that. So, big hit there. I think that was Nate Stewart, if I'm not mistaken. It's always hard to catch these guys as quick as you can on the timing and scoring there. But I believe all is well back for them. And actually, no, I think they changed drivers. Actually, no, it's Justin Millo, I think, that had that shot to the wall. And say, actually, just saw one there a little further back that was upside down here in that hairpin. So we'll let Nate and Justin get settled in here a little bit, but we're gonna bring Nate in here just a little bit. He did the opening stints for that number 67 Beetle. Right now they are showing, I believe, about 5th in class, if I'm not mistaken. Here's the size. I mean, look at that as they go down the straightaway here, and you can see right there, Millo just being swarmed there by Josh Edmondson. And that's a terrifying view when you're a Beetle and you see this thing and just in your mirrors, and then trying to do that right there. He did big slide jump, catches the wall, and you can get away with it with this event because these things have that magical repairs, and so they'll have a little bit of damage, then they'll get back all better and then get back underway. So we're going to switch back off the timing and scoring here. Let's go back to our intervals. So right now, again, this is the overall intervals to the leaders. And so right now, as I mentioned, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken here, I believe what I'm seeing here is that Sean Winkler actually may have a lap lead over second place now, which is Matthew Morris here in that 59. So looking really good here for that number 50. The 148 car, I should say. I apologize. So yeah, so some really good pace out of him. It's like JP Defino's got about half a minute lead, about 30 seconds here over Zachary Goddard here in that number 2 Beetle. So yeah, so a little bit spread out here and there. And then I need to wait for our timing and scoring to update, because I really want to get some love on these Pro 2 trucks. But again, it's just when you got all these 4-wheel drive cars, then you got the 4-wheel drive truck. When you got the 2-wheel drive truck, you're kind of at a bit of a disadvantage, unfortunately. And so you can see on the timing and scoring, it doesn't like to switch over to them as frequently, and it makes it a little bit tricky to try to find them in that timing and scoring. And I think I've heard a wild Chris Leone appearing. Looked like a good stint for you, Chris. You're maybe some ups and downs and stuff, but I mean, at one point I think you were second in class, and then bad things happened, and you worked your way back up to second in class. And say now, I mean, right now I'm looking at Trevor here, and it looks like you guys are third in class. So as you're giving some love from one of those trucks that you guys get to battle, they got the weight on you, but I mean, take us through the opening stint. I know you just said you just wanted to survive and not get destroyed. I feel like mission accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, thank you again for always doing this broadcast. Appreciate the hell out of all the effort that you put in. So, yeah, we, it's funny. Teal and I talked about, do we want to take a rear start on this one? Coming in, and then he had a lap in qualifying that was just too good to pass up, and what ended up happening was we start right on the inside of row 2, and I can't think of a better place, if you're not going to be on the pole, to start at Crandon on one of those land rushes than on the inside of row 2. We had the start of a lifetime. I started falling back a little bit, and then, unfortunately, we had some contact with the 16 there, and kind of ended up knocked into an awful spot there briefly, but, all you can do is just back it into reverse, get it back around. I am sure that the start was much crazier for a lot of the folks behind me because we cleaned it up. We realized, oh, we're still 4th in class. Okay. Just continued to pick away. And, we got back up to 7th. When I handed off the car to, when I handed the car off to Trevor coming into the pits, I think we were 7th on class. So we got back onto, if we had done that one more lap, where we would have been on the overall and the relative. And that's about all you can ask for in a stint in a race that is this chaotic with this many vehicles, this many things going on.
Yeah, there's plenty happening. I believe we're approaching the halfway point. I say math's never been my strong suit, so we'll just say it's near the halfway point here, Chris. But
yeah, we're halfway.
So then we talk about fuel and the track where, say, Cam was mentioning that the Beetle Lite's by far the most efficient, so they might have stopped 2, maybe 3 times. You guys probably have about 5 stops in the Beetles, in the Subarus, I apologize. And then, of course, then the track state. For you guys, I mean, is it when the track is not slicked out, is that when you're at your best, or when this thing really starts to get worn in and you kind of start to see the kind of not even the asphalt, but just the rubber on the track? Like when do you feel like that brings the Subaru alive even more so compared to your competitors?
So it's really tough, right? Because one of the things that we were kind of talking about, that I was talking with some of the Beetle Lite folks about earlier in the night, is at some points during the race you feel like you're in control of the Beetle Lite, and at no point in the race do you really feel like you're in control of the Subaru. Because it's hard to drive everywhere, but as this track wears in, as it rubbers in, we get faster. And we almost get faster to the point of feeling out of control. It can be really, really hard to drive. Now, Trevor is a hell of a driver. Teal is a much better driver with these cars than me, and you're going to see faster laps from Teal just because of that anyway. But the fact that he's the faster driver and he's also coming in on the track that is conducive to faster laps for us really ends up being an advantage. For me, I've had the horseshoe up my you-know-what for the starts for a little while now, so that's typically why we play it the way that we play it. But yeah, we get faster as the race goes on, and it's funny that Cam kind of said that about the pitting and the efficiency, because that has not been the case for us. We've only pit 3 times. Coming up to just under halfway when I handed it off to Teal. So, if you manage the throttle on this car, if you manage the fuel, and most importantly, if you treat this like the survival race that it really is, you don't have to spend a bunch of time in the pits. You don't have to blow it on stints. I mean, that's really what we do when we manage this, is we try to get off cycle with everybody else, because that way we're not pitting when there's a full pit road and everybody's trying to figure out, well, which stall is mine, because we're all pitting simultaneously. And, that is one of the biggest things for us, I think, as we do this.
Yeah, in the midst of that, I'll say the best news that I'm hearing about this is you had a really good land rush start, which that bodes well for future land rush starts with the Siesta Motorsports event. Because we talked pre-race early. We'll see how tonight goes if we're going to do a normal 2 side-by-side start to do the land rush. So I'm very pleased.
That was tongue-in-cheek.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it is really hard, though, when you've got 44 vehicles launching, which I think is yet another record for us. No,
and I mentioned you're near 100 drivers, if not already at it, because again, all the teams are 2 drivers at minimum. Oh, as I said, a huge issue. I say one guy went basically kind of went to the moon there, and that's something as well that we can talk about as more trouble for the 25-55. is, yeah, if you get caught up in something and either wind up on your lid, or I mean, again, these things you can kind of get launched out beyond what iRacing is like. I don't know where you are anymore, and you just get reset straight back to your pits. As you see right there, here's the 245. They're trying to see if some. Oh, look at that wheelie right there. That was the what truck was that? Was that the 269? I don't know who that was, but that was a very nice wheelie there. But yeah, sometimes though, when you might wind up on your lid, which I feel like is maybe more of a chance with the trucks than the cars, but it's that risk. Like, do you tow? Do you wait and hope maybe somebody will knock you over? I mean, obviously we don't get to hear driver communication, but when you're on track and when you're in the car, do you hear drivers say like, "Hey, can you flip me over?" or anything like that, or is there any etiquette on that situation?
More on normal Yes 2 races than on this one. I mean, yeah, this is semi-pro off-road sim racing, right? You know, you do try to help people out where you can. I mean, in our case, because we are considering a championship, I think you're naturally a little more selfish. I mean, for me, I always just try to be careful. This is a very physical, full contact form of racing. You know, this is ice hockey, and I try to treat it like soccer half the time and just not touch anybody. But, you know, yeah, it's... You always want to give as much fair play as you can. You want to help people as much as you can. You know, a big part of the reason why this is a, you know, damage off 100-minute race is because we want everybody to get to the checkered flag. You know, you don't want anybody to just sort of quit early, and that's why we always say it is a team race, but if stuff happens, you have to solo, man. Just finish it out. We'll fix it in post. We have rules for that. You're not the first. You won't be the last. You know, it's just kind of a tough deal sometimes to, you know, for people to deal with that. But, you know, it's a balance. You know, we try to help everybody that we can. I mean, I try to hit the clear all button for black flags every about 5 to 10 minutes or so just to make sure nobody's getting screwed. I actually had a conversation with the guys in the 59 because they had something happen at Wild West, and they're our closest championship competition. And I'm just like, look, I want to make sure that you guys are good. Like, if something like that happens and you don't have anybody clearing a flag, just send somebody up into our chat so I can make sure that you get cleared. You know, if we beat you, I want it to be fair on the track. I want to make sure that you guys, you know, don't get screwed by a penalty or anything like that. So, you know, it's all about as much fair play as we possibly can.
Yeah, and I mean that's I mean, I feel like that describes this event perfectly. It is competitive. You obviously, everybody wants to try to get the best they can in their class and go for the points championship and such, but at the same time, you can tell this is a lot of fun. And I mean, and the group therapy name is, I mean, it's perfect for this because it really is. I mean, it's somehow this is therapeutic that was doing this for the 100 minutes, and like, you're spent, but you're just smiling the whole time afterwards. So no, I'm 100% with you. This is such a fun event. Like I said, there's times where I'm really down. It's like, oh man, I really want to run this, but at the same time, being able to put this on to share with everybody the fun that this is, I think that's even more important because, like I said, you guys and Yes to Motorsport and everybody, and obviously a big thank you to Jim Beaver eSports for sponsoring as well. We got trouble there just in front. I think that may have been. I think that was one of our pro boys there. Possibly, is that Nick Cohan? That is indeed, and Nick won't be very happy as I reverses ride in front of a couple guys, grabs the gear, and he's gonna be embarrassed that we got this all on camera, and we'll have to clip it. We'll send it straight to him, and we'll give him a hard time there. And that's the thing too, is you never, again, there's so much going on that you never can know when you're gonna catch something that happens, but it just makes it, when you do, all the more fun. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, I feel bad that you keep getting kind of conscripted and having to do the shows, but at least we got to race together on one of Cleo's streams, you know, within the past couple of weeks, and
we found each other.
Were we doing was that one of my traffic jam races?
Yes,
and we were just weaving through the cars.
Yes. And I'll say, I'm not here to kind of sales pitch your stuff, but I'm here to sales pitch your stuff because for those that maybe didn't get to run this big event, yeah, I say go look for Yes Motorsports because every Thursday and Saturday nights, if I'm not mistaken, you've got something fun going on with these groups, and it's just a couple quick races. You go through some tracks, some cars, and it's just a blast. I mean, like I said, I wish I could make more of them. I'm going to try to put an effort out to make more of these as well, because it's just so much fun. Like I said, it's like this in a smaller scale if you maybe can't dedicate the 100 minutes or whatever to it. But yeah, it's always so much fun. And like I said, it's just there's always a smile after it because the camaraderie and then, of course, just the silliness overall, too.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I mean, and just un momento, I should probably tell Teal to pit this lap. Pit this lap!
We'll see if he listens here. We'll focus on him.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he will. But no, it's a lot of fun. Like you said, Thursdays we do 7 p.m. Eastern pretty much every week. Saturdays we're shifting back a little bit. We're going to 10 p.m. Eastern now. For the start of the new year, we do. To start the year, we always do something inspired by the old Mickey Thompson series, the Off-Road Championship Grand Prix. We do that on Saturdays. And it's a few different classes, and we run on all the American Rallycross tracks. We always start the year with the Ken Block Memorial. So that's going to be next week, and we run a bunch of cars that Ken ran and a bunch of tracks where Ken had some success on one layout or another. So we always have stuff going on. We do these events and the sister series, which is called VORTEX, which is just solo races that are longer. We do those the last Thursdays of every month. We're going to change it up a little bit next year just because I didn't want things to fall at the same time as, the actual Crandon World Championships. And the last Thursday of next year is Christmas, and I figure nobody would want to run that night. So we'll run it a little earlier next December. But yeah, we've always got something going on. That's how we refined this formula. That's how we've refined all sorts of other things. If you ran week 14 earlier this month on iRacing and you did Simcana with the GR86 and the Clio, those setups were developed in Yes 2. A lot of the Simcana setups at this point actually kind of are developed in Yes 2. Because we just love turning everything into a rallycross car or an off-road truck or,
It's a fun combo, and I'll say I'm gonna make you use your pull, if you will. I say we got like the Robbie Gordon. Say he's got his truck series that they do a lot of that kind of go with the V8 supercars. We need to find a way to get those ramps added to iRacing to like the tracks like Long Beach and all that. I think that would be a lot of fun. So I'll say pull some strings wherever you gotta do. I'll let you take full credit for it. This conversation never existed, Chris.
Gail, there's a reason why I'm laughing about this, and I can't say it on air.
Oh no, okay.
That's all I can tell you. But no, certainly, there are a lot of things that I have been pushing for behind the scenes. I mean, as Greg Hill has touched on in a couple of development blogs, there is an understanding that we've got some work to do on the dirt road experience in terms of we need more accessible starter vehicles. I love the Pro 2 Lite. I love racing it on rallycross tracks because I'm good at it. It's not an authentic experience. It really is a Week 13 type experience. You wouldn't be doing that in the real world. It isn't comparable to a stadium truck because it is much larger and, at the horsepower number that it's at. So a lot of what that truck is doing right now doesn't really apply. That truck needs to be on this kind of course to really be able to teach you anything for the Pro 2s and the Pro 4s further up the ladder. There have been a lot of things that we've discussed, and I can't promise timelines. And I think I've said literally these exact same things last year to further reinforce that point. It's just, there unfortunately is a lot more that goes into it than there are some fantastic other products out there that have a different philosophy where users, might mod things in, and it's no different than Mac versus PC infrastructure, right? Where, you've got one that's more open source and one that's more closed source. Because of the way that iRacing does things, you can't necessarily just do that and get away with that. We do what we can. There are a lot of things that I've kind of been working on and that, they'll take time, but long term that I'm excited about. And, in the meantime, the Clio has become a fantastic rallycross car. The GR86 has become a really fun rallycross car. We've put some work into GT4s because that really is a good rally GT spec. You know, I've got all sorts of ideas. You know, it's tough. It really is tough. You know, so much of what iRacing does at such a high level and has so many great partnerships around is very series centric, and that's very pavement series centric. And it's really tough when off-road racing doesn't really have sanctioning bodies that have lasted that long. It's just not the way the sport works. The equity is in the events. Crandon's been running for 55 years, you know, pretty much unblemished. The Mint 400 has been running forever over on the desert side. Bark River's been running for, I think, 40 years, and on and on and on. And most of these events have had more sanctioning bodies than even the Indy 500 has over the past 120 years. The sport just works differently, but that's such a different thing when you're a developer and when you're used to working well with those sanctioning body partners. So it presents a unique challenge, because you're a little more on your own when it comes to getting the racing experience correct. So we do what we can with that. I help where I can. Unfortunately, you know, GRC was the first partner, and GRC went under not long after, you know, not long after that deal was signed. Then following that, you know, Lucas Oil Off-Road, I believe, was a 2020 casualty, just changing business models and things. And so, you know, there's only so much you can do at some points. As I'm watching,
I say your boy's getting a little bit bullied here. He's fighting back though.
Yeah, that's as soon as I saw the number on the truck, I was like, yeah, that'll happen.
No, and
So-
I say all joking aside, I mean, like I said, I was say it's always fun to put you on the spot. Like I said, I know it, and the thing is, I mean, I gotta applaud you guys because there's so many just options in iRacing. Like I said, it's going to be hard to get everything. Obviously, you got the stock car side of things. You got the dirt oval, like you mentioned. You got the dirt off road, and then I mean, and you look at the road stuff. I mean, you've got all the variations, all the open wheelers, all the IMSA type races. I mean, now you got the supercars, the new update for those. I mean, that's the thing is like when you're on the outside looking, it's like, oh yeah, why don't they update this XYZ thing? I'm really interested. It's like, well, we maybe either are or we're working on it or we want to, but there's, I'm sure, like I said, the to-do list, I can only imagine what it's like for the developers to try to balance all of that. So yeah, it's obviously, like I said, there's, I'm sure, plenty of things in the works. As I said, oh my goodness, 169 there. He had a nice little wheelie out of a event earlier there, but that one didn't go quite to plan. Good barrel roll though, but he's back and running, and importantly, of course, back on their wheels as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
oh, as I say that, ooh, almost a moment there for Josh there, which I say it's one of those like, oh no, I hope they don't have an issue. Same thing for Cam Peterson, who just snuck by it as well. But yeah, it's right now. I mean, right now it's still the Pro 4s in the top 6 spots. But right now, the Beetle Lite's actually the best of the race at the moment. With looks like JP
goodness.
Desfino switched over to who's a Dan Carrito. So yeah, so right now Cam's about 4 seconds or so back. So looks like the Beetles are starting to maybe like the slicker track that's coming up.
Yeah, definitely. And I have no idea how Teal just got through whatever cluster it was that was just happening ahead of him. But you know, there's a reason why. You know, I used to kind of switch around a lot and work with different people every race, and always wanted to race with Teal. It never worked out. Once it finally started working out, it's just I've got my claws in him now. Like, you know, you got your boy, you got your teammate, and you know, and we PLT is a little inside joke that we've got that we won't explain to anybody, but he's been so awesome to run with the past couple of years. It's been so cool for us to actually get to race together, because we never did the first few years of this, and you know, and JBE and Channel 199 eSports certainly have, you know, a lot of history together. Jim and Travis are good friends, and before they became Channel 199 eSports and, you know, had even the Nitro branding between them, a lot of that core group was JBE's team. And, you know, and JBE just kind of had to go in a different direction. Jim was doing more lifestyle content. We decided we're going to keep the JBE brand alive, but we're kind of going to focus in on doing these events. I mean, we had the Short Course World Cup back in the day that we put on CBS Sports. I think we were one of the last sim racing events that was consistently still on national television after a lot of the COVID restrictions lifted, because I think we did that up through 2022. And so, you know, it just... There was a big point of pride in that, but we were a better events company than we were a race team. We did what we could for the drivers, but our strength was in running events. So Teal's kind of taken most of those guys on, and he does a fantastic job of managing them. He's a much better team manager than I will ever be. So, you know, it's really been cool to see a lot of those changes and all those different things kind of happening for those guys, and you know, we've had a blast running together as teammates.
No, I mean, and like, as I say, oh man, that was a big moment for David Holdren, and I think he's going to wind up in a whole different section of track. I mentioned this earlier. Yeah, this is now where it's like, okay, which way is the right way? Because he actually somehow wound up in a clear section of track. I'm almost wondering if he may have lost a half a lap just from barrel rolling over the wall into another section of track, and that's one of those things that does happen. And
Yep.
For them, I mean, they're 6th overall, so I mean, they're in the thick of this thing too. So it's
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide in these types of events. You just don't know when and where kind of you're going to
Exactly.
find that surprise, if you will. And
that was what happened to me on lap 2, and actually it was contact with Mladen in that truck that ended up happening. Like, I kind of had the you know, I had the corner and we were just sideways. We were sideways. I thought we were going to get it fixed, then we weren't, and then we were off, and then we were past the finish line, and I'm like, well, crap, I got to grab gears. And, you know, suddenly then, you know, you're already just kind of staring down, you're staring down the entire field coming at you backwards, and I'm like, well, that's not good. We've got to try not to kill all of the leaders and execute this maneuver. And, failed dramatically, but like I said, and we made some contact with Banksy. Teal's
Oh, yep.
Teal's gonna be bummed about that, but
Yep.
he's getting it turned around.
Trying to loop it back around.
He
Say,
will.
we have someone pop over and say wants to give some love over to Adam McAfee right now, who is indeed the overall leader in that 348. They've been up front a lot, battling I think a couple times with I believe the 99 of Josh Edmondson, and I think Josh's lengthy pit stop, if I'm not mistaken. I thought he had just pitted, so I'm not sure if maybe I say because there are the penalty holds obviously for speeding on entry, things of that nature, if I'm not mistaken. So wonder if maybe got caught getting in the pits a little bit too hot, or may have wound up on his lid at some point. That again, it's hard to catch it all, so that's gonna hurt their chances. And that's where these guys here, Adam McAfee, Cole Fisher, Keenan Kuzin, I say this is again you try to take advantage. Oh, as I see one flipping there in the background, try to take advantage of any opportunities you can get. So yeah, really good opportunity for these guys. I mean, we're down to, we're under 30 minutes to go here.
Yeah, no, it's any opportunity you can get, you got to take. I mean, we have somehow ended up back on the same lap as Cam and Sean, which you know, I mean, not anymore. Like we just kind of had that little incident with Banksy there, which they're in the voice chat together, so I'm gonna have to.
Oh, that's gonna
be fun. Yeah, I'll jump back in there and be like, you know, and just sort of see how Teal handled that one. But you know, yeah, it just obviously it gets you closer. I mean, we're fortunate. You just want to have the timing of those things because you know they're gonna happen. You just want it to be timed well. And in our case, so far, they, you know, knock on wood, they have been. You know, our incident was on lap 2. We had all the time in the world to make it up. And a lot of people were probably pretty flustered from the, you know, from whatever happened in turn 1, to where, you know, you've got a bunch of people who are already kind of behind, so you can just get it flipped around and get back moving. In this case, you know, we had an incident, you know, we had an incident, like, we were 2 laps up on the other car. We're 1 lap up on the other car now, but we're still a lap up, you know? You can manage that. You can be patient. You can be plenty patient. And, We've got Teal pitting now. So that's all you can do. We had the wreck just before the and he's he's getting the fuel, so it's a bummer to have it come so close to a pit stop, because you're just like, oh, we almost had a perfect stint, but it's all right. You do what you got to do, you just continue moving forward, and the scoreboard tells the rest of the story.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it's that fight within a fight, like you mentioned. So, I mean, right now, obviously looking at the timing scoring on the left of the ticker, and yeah, it's pretty much a Pro 4 party. Obviously with the pit stop, you've fallen off that list, but yeah, I mean, you guys are right there. So yeah, right now, actually, as you say, that Cam Peterson, he's on, or leaving pit road, I should say, right now. So that'll change up the running order a little bit for your intervals to each other. So that's where you always have to keep an eye there. And then, like mentioned with the Beatles here, Dan Carrito right now is 6th overall. And like you mentioned too, I mean, Cam was talking about the fuel on these things, so be curious to see. Do you guys know, for time-wise, do you know how long a fuel stint is in your car, maybe time or lap-wise? Like, do you still have to maybe make another splash to the end, or what are the Subarus you think looking like?
We're probably going to have one more stop. Put it this way, the only way we're not going to have one more stop is if something went seriously wrong and we're getting towed, which, God willing, does not happen. But, I don't think we have it necessarily, the math done out time-wise. I think it's more kind of knowing how many laps you got to run. And, we've kind of got that in mind. And, I know there are some people who actually do the math, which is impressive, and certainly if that's kind of the way you want to go about it, like, hell yeah. For us, we kind of eyeball it. One of the things that we have discovered over the past few years of doing this is that I am a very conservative driver when it comes to the loud pedal. With a lot of this, I'll carry my speed a lot, and so, like I think I mentioned a little bit earlier, we'll try to get off sync. Because we're able to save some fuel here and there just because of how I drive naturally, I'm not necessarily even trying to. We might be a lap or two after everybody else, and as that keeps carrying, the way these races are timed, I don't think it ever actually takes away a full pit stop, but getting off cycle, like I said, it is so valuable in a race this crazy, with this few actual pit stalls on the track, to be able to see your lollipop man, right? And not just have another car sitting over him and have to guess, well, crap, where do I pull in?
Yeah, no, exactly right. I say apologies. I think a little bit of hiccups on the stream. I'll say there's a lot going on. I say the cameras are going to have a hard time handling all of it at times. So for knocking wood, it's been pretty solid. But and I say it looks like definitely it's been about the pit stop window, like you had mentioned, because I just saw Adam McAfee had pitted recently, Keenan Kusin as well in the Pro 4s. And you mentioned being off sequence right now, because right now Cole Fisher in the Pro 4s is leading, and they pitted last lap 44, and as I say that, actually looks like they're just able to go, like you said, maybe just at least that little bit longer, gets it well down before the cones there, and so now he's going to stop as well. And then so right now looks like Zachary Goddard's going to be the highest running Beetle now, in 5th overall again, but they haven't pitted last since 47, so the question marks, I think, like you said, the Beatles might be the outlier on how far they can jump before they got a pit. So,
no doubt,
it's going to be interesting for sure.
Absolutely. So I should probably start coaching Teal to the finish, but I do want to just get in a bunch of thank yous real quick, because there are a lot of other leagues that support this event. Certainly, what you do with Pretend Racing Online, all of you guys have been fantastic for years with these events. So thank you so much for that. The guys over at NASA SimSport that make up another huge chunk of the Beetle Lite contingent, the guys at iRacing Short Course, the Flag to Flag guys. I mean, God, I'm scrolling through the list, and there's so many people that I'm going to end up missing a bunch of people. So sorry about that. The Team Watson guys always show up. Cleo and the Skur Squad, their first time doing events. Team AMX, who have been fantastic, all the way around. all the admins here in Yes 2, Fish, Ian Monroe, Teal, Eric, God, Arrow's been an admin for a long time, Wes, so many great people in this league, so many people who have done so much to support, Matt Kalish, Aaron Bean, they couldn't race tonight, but they, the Admin Express team, those guys have been great supporters for so long. Obviously, Jim Beaver, JB15, JB Misadventure, misadventure-life.com for all the clothing. All sorts of stuff going on. I think there's a 15% off deal right now at the top of the site. So many cool stuff. I'm actually wearing my JB15 team shirt right now, so that is one of my personal favorites. But Kalish has, knocked it out of the park with so many designs, and God knows we've got more coming. Banksy and Gray Ledbetter showed up to run this race. Appreciate them. Gray's been a great client of mine off to the side and off-road for a couple of years now. She kicks ass. Can't wait to see what she's doing in 2025. Certainly you, Gail, for all the work that you put into these broadcasts. Everybody else, everybody who's watching. God, I can't... I know that I missed some people, so just complain at me in the messages after the fact.
If you weren't listed, he thanked you, just didn't know it.
Yes, exactly. Everybody who's involved. If you weren't thanked individually, I will thank you off to the side at some other point. Thank you again, everybody. It's been a great race. Looking forward to seeing it to the finish, and can't wait to find out who takes the checkered flag.
All right, man. Yeah, go enjoy the last little bit. About just under 20 to go, so go crew chief your guy there.
Appreciate it. I'll hand it off to Nate.
All right, sounds good, sir. All right, so yeah, like you said, we're going to grab another driver. We talked to the teammate. Well, first we'll wait for the cameras to kind of get a little bit squared away. There we go. We're going to pull in one of those drivers as the cameras start to get spazzy again. Pull up that Justin Millo fellow, because, Nate, you did the early work there, and now you've got your teammate there who's going to get a little bit of tough love there as soon as as soon as you get the camera on him. And I say always bad things seem to happen, and he's going to get a little more Subaru love there. I'm guessing that's not one of those things you want to see when you're about to get chatted with.
I mean, it is what it is, man. This race is a lot of fun. It's definitely been contact sport so far, that's for sure. But I mean, it's all in good fun. It's been a blast so far.
So I say, I mean, you've had some ups and downs on your stint, obviously, but I believe you're showing third in class, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, obviously, really good recovery from you, and then also from Justin, obviously, to continue it on here for, again, just over 15 to go. So fuel, it sounds like you guys are probably the easiest on the fuel mileage side of things. I say Cam Peterson was chatting earlier about it. So one more stop, good to the end after that, or what's it looking like? And you think maybe you can jump a few of those guys that maybe do have to take two more?
Yeah, for sure. We only have one stop left, and I'm actually going to get back in whenever we stop here in a couple laps, but no need to yank me out whenever I do. But, yeah, one more stop for us, and I don't know if we'll be able to jump the next couple of guys, because, like, we're 2 laps behind. Yeah, we are sitting third right now. I don't know how it's going to play out with, like, driver swaps and all that. I think we might get passed by the 535. But I don't know. We're not really going to know how it shakes out until the checkered flag falls. But that's just the fun in this race. Just all the chaos that happens, differing strategies. You know, a lot of it. This event is honestly just one of a kind, and I can't thank Chris enough for putting that on.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. Like I said, I've been a part of it one way or another for at least, I want to say, a year now, and yeah, every time it's just too much fun to not do. And say, so you go from an event like this where, like I said, you're maybe able to relax and have a little fun, but then you've got your 2025 coming up, and I say it's probably not as relaxing. I mean, take us through what's the plan coming up for you in 25 here.
Yeah, so for 2025, plans are still technically up in the air. I have free agency for the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series coming up in a couple weeks. Hoping to get signed and to be racing in the Coca-Cola series next year. Obviously, I hope that's how the 2025 plans work out. But if not, if I don't get signed, and then I'll be a reserve driver for the Coke Series, and then I'll probably just end up running Road to Pro again, or I might take a year off from the competitive stuff if I don't get signed into Coke. Not sure, but obviously, fingers crossed to get signed to the Coke Series, be able to race that, and if I make Coke, hopefully don't fall back into contender. But also, you never really know how it goes, so I don't know. So hopefully the plans are to hopefully get signed and then be racing in the Coke Series on every other Tuesday for 2025. But, we'll just have to see how it goes.
Well, I say it looks like you're going to be throwing those seatbelts back on. I just saw Justin hop into the pits, I should say, and yep, see you popped into the car as well. So I say I don't have a lot of pull, obviously, but definitely always enjoy watching you in some of the sim racing you've done in some of the leagues that are pretty much, I would say, Coke talent level leagues. Seeing you've been racing after those guys as well, so would definitely love to see you get an opportunity. And if I had more pull, I'd say I'd try to work in strings and get you in one of those rides. So yeah, like I said, I know you said I don't have to pull you right away, but I want to let you focus. I want to see you get a podium in that Beetle. So good luck the rest of the way here, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the kind words, and thank you for broadcasting. You're doing a great job up here.
All right, good luck, man, and avoid those trucks.
I'll try.
All right, that was Nate Stewart there in that number 67. Again, apologies. You're going to have a little bit of hiccups here and there with the stream. There's a lot graphically going on, and I'll say that's only a few hiccups. I'm not going to complain too much. So right now up front, we still have Cole Fisher leading away, last pitting on lap 58 as he makes contact with the 95 there. And again, the question mark is going to be fuel. I think it's as crazy as it sounds for an hour 20-minute race here, or sorry, for a 100-minute race here. Is going to be the fuel mileage could come into play right now, because they pitted last at 58, 4 laps later than our second place at the moment, who is Keenan Kuzin. But then I look at Thad Countryman pitting at lap 62. So again, you wonder, did some of these guys maybe do the road course strategy, maybe pit backwards, or it's like, okay, we know from here we can make it to the end. Let's go ahead and jump on in as soon as we're in that window. So this is where, again, we don't know fully the strategy of these drivers, but we talked obviously to Chris Leone. He mentioned the whole concept of just going off sequence, and maybe that's what Thad is doing here as well in that 348. We talked to his teammate a little earlier with Adam when on the broadcast. We're kind of giving him some attention when he took the lead. So yeah, so there's a lot that can happen here over these remaining 12 minutes, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to see where things all shake out. So right now, Cam Peterson solidly our Subaru leader. Trevor Teal is still second though in class, and looking timing scoring is on the same lap as well. So if anything happens to Cam here, it does open up some opportunities for Trevor. On the Beetle side of things right now, Josh Mertz in the number 2 is the Beetle leader, and then the 554 of JP Tofino is in second in class. And as I said, that Trevor Teal just hitting pit road for should be their final stop. And then again, I'm been waiting for this timing and scoring. So every time I try to check it, unfortunately, I can't see the difference between the Pro 2s and the Pro 4s. They just kind of all show up as a truck for me. So I'm trying to verify which truck is officially leading these Pro 2s. I do see, I think it may be these guys here, maybe the front runners of the Pro 2s. We got Pacey Wiggins and then Wes Graham in that 298. So those two, again, a lot of the drivers have the 2-digit numbers are the Pro 2 trucks. So that's usually the easiest way. There are a few outliers that maybe don't have that matching number set. So again, it's hard to catch all the timing and scorings as it's happening. And definitely for number 1 plate, first time viewer, appreciate you hopping on over here with Racecraft TV. I said there's a lot that's happening in a short amount of time, so I'm trying to stay on top of it as best I can. But I say if you enjoy this kind of stuff, definitely look at Yes to Motorsport on iRacing. A lot of great events. Like I said, this event here they put on a couple times a year, and then he mentioned Chris Leone there Thursday nights and Saturday nights. They have fun events there as well. So definitely check them out at Yes to Motorsport. A lot of fun. I say a lot of great people as well, and I think you'd be very, very welcome over with that group. Right now, kind of around trying to keep an eye on where some of the drivers are. We have a few drivers back on pit road. Tom Grady is in the pits in that 35, now down and away. I mentioned Trevor Teal pitting at lap 64. Josh Mertz was at 63 the lap before. So yeah, right now it's just kind of a guessing game on the fuel mileage. We'll have to see who can do what to get to the end from here. Again, Cam Peterson pitted at 65 in the Subaru. So based on he pitting at 65, Teal at 64, kind of to me gives a little bit of a sense that might be the fuel window for these guys to get to the end there. And then you've got Josh Edmondson here in the 99 right now in 10th. And then we've got another Peterson here with a T instead of a D, as I said, doing a little bit of a wall grind there. In the 59 car is in 13th, I believe, is the third in class Subaru. So yeah, so all these guys all still within fairly close distance of one another. Right now, Cole Fisher still our leading Pro 4 truck. So again, last pitted at 58. So, and then right now, actually, this is a really good battle here. This is for second overall. This is Cam Peterson in the Subaru, giving a little bit of a nose to the 14 there of Keenan Kuzin. And oh, big flying truck there in the background. Oh my goodness, I couldn't catch what truck that was, but I don't think that was a normal jump path there. But man, Cam is just hounding Keenan here. But again, though, I mean, Keenan's got his fight as well to try to get that overall win or even the class win. But there goes Cam. He's going to sneak on by and he's going to run away. Look at the grunt on that Subaru. I'm going to say the power to weight there, I think, is definitely going to be advantage Subaru on that one. And then, I say again, these Pro 4s, though, obviously get through the jumps very well. And that's what makes this so much fun as well, is just all the variation there. You see chaos there in the back. And right now, Doug Betts also on pit road on the 22 should be their last scheduled stop because we are within 10 minutes to go. And looking at lap times, as Cam Peterson is a 15:75, leader Cole Fisher is at 18:5, so almost 3 seconds quicker for Cam. You see the Jurassic Park there, Subaru having to roll back a little bit here. So yeah, so again, it'd be interesting actually, as I said, that Keenan's on pit road, so this will be his final stop. Should be a really quick splash of fuel though. So don't expect that to be too long of a stop. Doug Betts rolling out now. Josh Edmondson as well hitting pit road. So it's all starting to kick off for the Pro 4s for their final scheduled stops. Like I said, should be pretty quick pit stops though. So now it's just going to again see what the response is going to be from these other guys. And you know, it might even be, hey, let's just base it on traffic. If we've got some clean air, let's just keep running it through and let's see where things wind up. So we'll be having to keep an eye on that. As you see, there's Ben Bream had a little bit of a spin. Looks like able to gather it back up. And then you say right now, it's kind of just trying to jump around a little bit, trying to find all of our closer battles. This is a good battle here with the 294 of Pacey Wiggins and Victor Valley here in that 582. Again, not the same class, but is for position. Here comes Nate Stewart working on trying to get back up to that 582. Last pitting at 60 compared to lap 54 for the 582. Nick Cohen a little further ahead, last pitted lap 63 in his Beetle Lite, and I believe right now is the fourth in class right now in that 591. And I know he is one of those drivers that's in that inner team battle that we heard Chris talk about a little earlier with Pretend Racing Online. I say those guys having their inner Beetle battle, if you will. I say they want to have bragging rights of being the highest finishing Beetle of that racing league. So down to 6 minutes to go. Cole still leading here. Lap time wise, again, still Cam a lot faster, but I don't know if there's going to be enough time to catch him. And I do believe Cam is good on fuel. And then also Thad Countryman again pitting at lap 62 to 58 for Cole Fisher. So it's just, yeah, it's going to be just a whether or not can the 75 make enough fuel, can or does he need maybe a splash? And here's the answer. He is in pit road now. Got to get it down to speed. This could open the door for Thad Countryman to take the lead in class. It's going to put Cam Peterson to the lead overall there in that 148. Now the 348 going to try to take over here as well up front. Waiting for the timing and scoring to update. Here comes the 75 leaving pit right now. Here comes the 348. I believe they're going to come out in very, very close proximity. And there is the 75. There is the 348. This is the battle for the Pro 4 truck win between Cole Fisher and Thad Countryman. And this is going to be a good fight to the end here. And I think we're going to have to keep focus on this because these guys are right nose to tail. And it's going to really, I think, be all about getting through traffic. And let's hop on board here. Let's watch what this number 348 is going to try to do here. Can he find a way around Cole Fisher here in these closing 5 minutes? See a couple Beetles there. Got by one. Got two more further up ahead. And again, just little by little having to work their way through. And again, there's going to also be some cars behind that. Maybe you see that one right behind there. That was a very quick truck as well. Just may have been trapped a lap down from some previous incidents. Close there on the entry. Couldn't quite make it happen. You can see that Beetle trying to stay out of the way of these guys going for this class win here. And here comes the over-under. That's going to send it on the inside. Can Cole here get the throttle back out? Looks like momentum's going to stay with that. Move that Countryman to the lead of the Pro 4s. But don't count Cole out, though. Cole's going to try to find any way around. You see the 35 there right behind. Tom Grady. Tom was also in the mix of this one earlier, like I said. Probably just getting caught up in something at somewhere in the point of this hour. 100-minute race here that something was happening. But, yeah, these guys putting on a really good fight here. But, again, this is going to be the fight for second overall, but first in class, importantly for them. Jump around just a little bit right now. Josh Mertz is still leading the Beetle Lite category, 7th overall at the moment. And it looks like he has got plenty of space over JP DeFino as JP is back down here in the 10th spot. So he's got a little bit of margin still and should be good to go on fuel as well. And then, of course, second in class right now, Trevor Teal. Oh, no, Trevor's going to need some help here. You see he's on his side. He's hoping someone's going to give him some love and maybe send him back over because a tow would really hurt his chances. And there you go right there. Which truck was that one? Was the 200 number. So was that the 222? Yeah, the 222, Marcus Hagman. So you're going to get some big brownie points. And say, Cleo, you're going to be proud of one of your own there, giving some help over to Trevor Teal, getting back on his wheels. And I think at the moment, still hanging on to that spot. So looks like we'll still be holding second in class. So very, very close moment, though, for Trevor Teal, because, again, if he doesn't get flipped back over, that might be it for them. So, and in this whole process, though, you see Thad Countryman here. We've missed something because Cole Fisher on pit road here. I'm thinking Cole must have had something happen and had to take a tow because, again, he was in the thick of it here. I'll see if I can try to find it. But unfortunately, there's so much happening so fast. Here we go, Cole. Oh, well, that's kind of going to tell us. And the incident basically, and we talked about if it leaves the kind of the iRacing area, it's just going to throw him off the track completely. So unfortunately, that's cost Cole there a chance at the class win and second overall to now falling back into 5th overall and I believe 4th in class. So again, that's how fast these things can happen in the closing stages of these races. So right now it's for Cam Peterson, just has to keep it clean for this next minute and a half or so. No pressure behind. He's got 20 seconds for the overall win over Thad Countryman. No drama behind him. And then everybody else is spaced pretty evenly here. Josh Mertz, like I mentioned right now, our Beetle Lite leader at the moment in that number 2. Yeah, no, that was a really good battle there. But yeah, and that's the thing is you don't know if it's going to happen on lap 1, 2, 3, or it could happen with just minutes to go in these things. That's the thing is it's always such a fight. Got a good little battle here. This is actually a great battle here on the Beetle Lite side of things. Nate Stewart trying to chase down Victor Valley here, and I believe this would be for, I think, 4th or 5th overall on the Beetle side of things. So this is going to be a good battle for position as well. And then you got this group here. Blair Miles trying to grab a spot on Joel Ulrich here. This is for 13th and 14th respectively. However, with just about 10 seconds to go, we're going to jump over to our overall leader here, and that is Cam Peterson in that 148. And I believe may have actually already either on his way to the finish line or may have just crossed the line. But we will wait to make sure it is official. But basically, timing has expired. So now they just have to complete the laps that they are on. And like I said, for Thad here, just needs to keep it clean for this remaining couple of turns. Oh, you see the Beetle upside down there as well. It should just about be there here. And that will give this fella here, I said, everything happens so fast, I lose where the turns are, so I apologize in advance again for that. But yeah, so it looks like, though, without any dramas, though, it's going to be this guy here getting the win. I think now he's rounding out the last corner. There's our finish line. There is our race winner, Cam Peterson. You can see he's going to do some celebrating there out of the turn, and actually ran the fastest lap of the race on that last lap, just to add to the no question of it. And then we'll jump over here to Thad Country and going to finish up his lap as well to try to grab that second place overall, first in class for him in that 348. And it is going to go to Thad there. And then we'll see, I believe, Josh Mertz. Oh, big trouble in front of him. He's having to avoid it there. Make sure he brings this thing back home to the start-finish line so he can get his class win as well. And then we'll, after we get all these drivers cleared through, we'll go ahead and get up into those final results. And then usually we'll try to see if we can take a peek out there, but usually what ends up happening is, oh, there we go. Actually, nope. So there's your official celebratory donuts, let's say. So he has definitely finished his final lap, and he's doing a little bit of celebrating there. A well-earned win for Josh Mertz in class. And we'll see again. We're going to try to hunt down our Pro 2 champion as well, or winner, I should say. Again, I feel like I've done a really bad job of giving them the love that they deserve. Like I said, it's, for whatever reason, it's been really tough to find all the results. But what we will do is, there's Cam Peterson. He's going to celebrate here as well on that backstretch. Got a Subaru going backwards there as well. As is, where now some of these drivers are going to kind of take care of some pent-up frustrations they may have had during the race. Byron Jones going to roll this thing backwards down the track here as well. There's Zach Blanche there. Looks like doing some celebratory. chat with some drivers, and I want to make sure that I get the right people because they've got teammates and I couldn't keep up with all of it. So we are going to start. First, we're going to go back. So we got to show off the cars while we chat with them. Where's this Cam Peterson vehicle? Let's, you know what, we'll cheat here. We're going to go back. We're going to go back a fair ways because there was so much going on that I can't keep up. We'll jump back all the way over here, and somehow we wound up when they're on pit road, but that's okay. So we are going to bring Cam Peterson in, and Cam, you're going to have to tell me teammates because I can't keep up with all of you guys. You were working the YouTube chat, and then you were giving me good info, and then you hop in the car and just started running some stupid fast laps. And just to put kind of the salt on the wounds to the competitors there, wound up running the fastest lap of the race on your final lap. I mean, but before we get to the interviews, I'll say who was your partner in crime for tonight?
Yeah, the main partner in crime was Sean Winkler. I know you were doing this stuff to yourself tonight, so it was it definitely was not an easy task for yourself. But no, Sean he started it off for me.
Yeah, he
So,
ducked us too.
yeah.
What?
He ducked us on your way in too.
I ducked you.
Yeah, the Discord duck.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's right. Yeah,
Quack.
I've arrived. Yeah, quack. What's quacking?
But no, I mean, we were talking at the beginning whether or not it'd be the Subarus, the Pro 4s, could the Beetle Lights make an appearance on the fuel mileage side of things? I mean, and it seemed like outright pace, the Subarus were definitely the quicker car, but then there's the fuel burn, and of course, I mean, you guys don't have the weight comparison to the Pro 4, so they're going to bully you around here and there. So Sean, I think you're the one that kicked off the start of the race, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe you guys switched the order. I mean, take us through the land rush and then the strategy from kind of your stints.
Well, the strategy was to stay alive. You know, I've done a few land rush starts before, so I kind of had a good idea of the procedure, so I was pretty confident there. And I just tried to send it as hard as I could down into turn one. I knew the Pro 4s would be fast on the fresh track. And they were, so I just kind of held it together and, you know, just drove a really solid first stint as best as I could. And I got caught up in a little bit of stuff, but it's just mostly avoiding the incidents out there and trying to save some gas, not going wide open everywhere to extend those fuel runs. And I think that's really kind of what helped us out there, you know. But unfortunately, through no fault of our own, when I handed it over to Cam, he got sent to Narnia. You know, it's just what happens out here. But thankfully, you know, thanks to the exchange rate, Cam was probably going 30% faster, and he saved about 30% on fuel, and he was able to drive a great second stint and get us home.
All right. Well, so after the Narnia trip there, Cam, I mean, it seemed, I mean, obviously we've seen the name. I mean, I've been able to do this enough now where it's like, okay, I've seen the name. It's like, okay, yeah, we know he's going to be fast. But I mean, what was the response after you have that happen? It's like, okay, I'm not taking it easy now. It's just basically just qualifying laps, or how do you manage that, knowing that there's maybe a little bit of a bigger hill?
Yeah, for sure. I think that it all came down to fuel conservation. Whether I had enough to maybe save myself from pitting again, that would have saved me about 20 seconds or so. So I was just keeping in talk with Sean. He was communicating awesomely. He was saying like, yeah, keep going or slow down, and yeah, I was really trying to put my foot down as much as possible, but trying to keep it as efficient as possible at the same time. So making the passes, I don't want to pass the same vehicle twice. That burns extra fuel. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to slow down and take the inside line on a corner that should be the outside line. That'll burn extra fuel. So I'm trying to do everything that I can to really make it as efficient of a lap as possible while not putting the throttle all the way down. I'm just kind of in the air, you know, letting off. If I'm going into a corner, letting off super early. It's kind of like a 24-hour race in some regards, because you're just conserving so much in those last two stops. So it all worked out for us. Thankfully, I think I'm like Sean said, I had quite the mishap on my first little my first few laps, and that wasn't very good. But I do take partial blame for that. I will for sure. But no, we were able to get it back. Thankfully, I think some opponents of ours like Josh and Cody Van Veer they had some mishaps with some mechanical issues with their PCs. So we were hoping to see them fight up front with us, but this just wasn't a night for them. But at least we were up front there with Sean and us. So yeah.
Yeah, so you start off with getting kind of shot back to your pits, then end the race with the fastest lap of the race. So I mean, I guess that's a way to kind of get the highest of highs and lowest of lows right off, like on a full stint. So I say it's a pretty effective way to knock it out. I say, unfortunately, I don't have the point side of things. I know I believe you guys were in the running as well for the Subaru points on that. So that'll be a Chris question that I'm sure
Okay.
he's got to use his calculator and all that
Yeah.
for it all.
That's why he
Yeah,
gets paid the big bucks.
That's right.
Yeah. I think Josh Edmondson and I were fighting for the overall points, and I don't think he had quite the finish that he was hoping for. So I think maybe I got the overall. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. But he's had my number for the past couple of years now. I know he's always clinched it because I always went with the slower vehicles. So I think this year is my year. So sorry, Josh.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say we'll do overall champion asterisk or something like that. Like I said, we'll let that figure on the back end. But I mean, obviously, hopefully that's the case for you. And if so, big congrats there, because like I said, there's a lot happening, and we've got a couple of these through the year. So to be able to get that result through those races is a really good result. So before I let you guys go and start counting points and celebrating, I'll say we'll start with you, Sean, then we'll switch over to Cam. I definitely want to give you guys the floor for any thanks and shouts for that win here this evening.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, thanks to Channel 199 for letting us represent this car and NLR. And I want to say thanks to Cam for being a great teammate and driving the hell out of that thing and getting us back up to the top after his incident. And appreciate you guys for putting on a great broadcast and for this whole year we've had. It's been super fun. And all the fans in the stands, thanks for watching and thanks for tuning in and cheering us on.
Yeah, pretty much what Sean said. Channel 199, Dixon Flannel. The whole team, Trevor Teal, I know he was in the booth earlier. Big shout out to him, the headmaster, we like to call him.
Woo, Teal.
So yeah, and Josh Edmondson for organizing all this with Christopher Leone with the Racecraft TV and yes, Two Motorsport collaboration. It's awesome. And thanks to you, Gail, for putting this on too. I know that doing this stuff all by yourself is not easy. So
Respect.
honestly, you're the real winner today, 100%.
Yeah.
I know I could never do this, so hats off to you. Looking forward to watching the broadcast back. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Yeah, great job tonight. Like I said, you guys were monsters there at the end, and yeah, go enjoy this one, guys.
Yeah.
Let's
Thank
go.
you. Let's go.
All right, so now we're going to jump over to our Pro 4 winners, and that is going to be these two drivers here, and that is going to be Adam McAfee and Thad Countryman. And if I got the wrong drivers, I apologize. I know, Thad, you brought it home, so you're for sure. And then Adam, I say you were the one that kind of led things off, and you had some fans over on YouTube. You had the Quack Bang OT rooting you guys on, and called me out too. It's like, hey, we're leading right now. You got to bring it over to us. But I got to go to the battle at the very, very end. I mean, you and Cole Fisher there, Thad. I mean, it was tight there. They came out just in front of you, and then let's say you were able to get by, and then they had unfortunately a bit of an excursion that sent him off into the netherworld. And then from there, you guys were able to bring it home. But I mean, take us through the race, the ups and downs, because obviously there's a lot that happens during the course of these things. So, Adam, we'll kick it off with you to kind of lead off on how your land rush went, and then how the rest of your stints went tonight.
Evan was actually the start of that.
Oh, all right. Well,
I did middle stint.
Well, then we're gonna pull Evan in because I figured I was probably missing somebody. So, and I guess this might be one of the first 3 driver teams then that I think that I've seen get a class win on that one. So, also a big shout out to you guys on that one. So then, Evan, we're gonna start with you then. Take us through the land rush and then how your stints went.
Yeah. Land rush was actually not as bad as I thought it would be. It was relatively calm. I don't know about the back, but at the start I knew Subaru was definitely gonna pull me on the inside, so I knew, knowing that Brody was third or fourth, I'd want to slide up and block him so I could just maintain my position and catch the Subaru in the section over the banners into out of Potawatomi, because the Subaru is very slow there. So I knew how to maximize there, and I kind of just got by, threw a couple sliders, fought back, and I just tried to do my best do some good sprinting laps at the start and just pull away and just kind of manage the stint from there. You know, we pulled some strategy with Adam and Thad. Kind of freeballed the pit strategy. As you can see, I was like out half the race, and but yeah, no, it all turned out pretty good. I mean, it was really impressive that Sean and Cam came back from what, like a 2-minute deficit all the way to the front. So congrats to them, and yeah, just congrats to all the guys who are out here today.
All right, so then we'll switch it to you, Adams. I believe that means then you had the middle stint, if I'm not mistaken. And then yeah, so also then I'm gonna ask you then on the fuel side of things, did you guys kind of run the numbers? Okay, this is how we'll split it evenly, or is it just let's just run what we run and then switch? And then also obviously the driver change takes some time too. So I mean, how did you guys did you plan for like the timing of everything, or is it just kind of one of those wing it situations?
For the most part, it was just kind of a wing it. Kind of look to see how much extra time with tires and fuel with the driver change, and then we just tried to time it as much as kind of went over for Evan. But I mean, it worked out in the long run. I was totally fine with doing a shorter stint.
Well, I mean, so you were able to put it in a good position. Thad, you then got to bring it home there to the end. So, like I said, I mean, to me, the story of the race on from where I was sitting is obviously coming to the end. You see the 75, they come out of the pits right in front of you. I mean, is that just all the incentive you need is when you can see them like that? And it's like, okay, now it's go time. We're gonna go get this spot and go for the win. Or, I mean, what's the mindset for you when you see them right there in front of you in those closing minutes?
Yeah, I see him, I just start chasing him down, trying to run a clean lap. And then once you got to him, I just kind of think of it as like you got him. You can just sit there and wait and be patient until you can make your move. And then fortunately, he got caught up in that wreck, and that was it for him. But yeah, I just try to focus on running the clean laps, getting hot laps in.
I was saying with obviously with this being kind of the multi-class just chaos that it is, do you find yourself when you're in traffic? Is it maybe some risk management where maybe you would run a line that you maybe don't normally, or how do you kind of manage that with all the cars having different paces? Where it's like, okay, the Subarus are really quick on the top end, the Beetles are really kind of quick in the tight turns. Is it just, I mean, do you kind of know going in like, okay, this is where we need to watch out for these guys, or yeah, how do you kind of mentally plan or prepare for that? And that's whoever wants to grab it by all means.
Well, for sure, when I'm coming into like a corner, like for Cowboy Corner, for example, when there's a big group of them all bunching up and just starting to wreck, or if it's all different paces with different cars. So I just try to take it really low, depending on what's going on, and try to cut in front of everybody really early. That way, if they want to get past me again, they might have to try to push me out of the way. You know what I mean? Things like that. And then, of
Right.
course, the guys helping spot
Yeah,
makes it a lot easier.
that corner is very sketchy. Like it's really easy to run through some guys, but you got to be careful even if there's people behind you. It was really bad. I think I ran through a Beetle at some point, so I'm sorry to them. I don't know who they were, but I apologize for that.
Yeah, I got mixed up in that one through the S section and couldn't get turned around, and probably had like a few people hit me, but I was holding on and hoping for the best. And Thad and Evan had to help me out because I've never run Crandon with this track state before. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah, it's not a yes to motorsport event if there's not some sort of contact and attempted recoveries and all that. I mean, there's like I said, there's so much going on, but like I said, I mean, you guys were able to manage it and say nobody's going to have a clean start to finish race, but I said you guys were able to make the most of it and kind of get through the hiccups and be able to pull off the class win, second overall. So same thing, we'll run it through the order. So let's say for all of you guys, if you want to give your thanks and shout outs. So Evan, we'll kick it off with you, and then Adam and Thad for any thanks and shouts for the class win tonight.
Yeah, I guess I gotta thank the makeshift team we made kind of last minute. I guess Adam and Thad are the great people. We run the Pro Fours all the time, so it was a fun time just racing with them. It was just like a bunch of friends just having some fun. So it was a great time racing with them. I mean, I guess my sponsors, Team Watson Racing. If you want some of my rallycross setups and some of Matthew Lindy's Pro 4 setups, go check them out at twrsetups.com. just KES Industries, my family, just everyone over there, and I gotta give all glory to God.
Yeah, I got to give a huge shout out, obviously, for Thad and Evan letting me come and run with them. It was a great time. Sponsor wise, CSR Refined Engineering, Ben Shot, and then obviously huge special shout out to Thad and then Tyler Shattuck for helping me get fast and get to this point, I guess.
Yeah, I'd like to thank these guys for just running with them and getting to show Adam a few things along the way, help coach a little bit. Team Gold eSports over there, Trenton, Joel, Tyler, Luke, all those guys. A couple of those guys ran in the World Champ Series a couple years ago, and you guys for putting on a great broadcast, Sellen's Transport, and yeah, that's about all I got.
Wow, great job though tonight, guys. Like I said, for me at least, probably one of the first 3 driver teams to get the win. So, yeah, really, really good job tonight. And yeah, go enjoy this one. And definitely looking forward to seeing you guys at the next event.
Yep.
Thank you, appreciate it, and thank you guys for putting on this on. It was a lot of fun.
All right, so now we're going to jump one more down, and that is going to be the Beetle Lights. And we're going to grab this fella here, Josh Mertz. And before I start grabbing more people, Josh, I'm going to guess Zach Goddard was that teammate tonight?
Yes, sir, he was.
All right, I won't start dragging around people and embarrassing myself. So we'll grab both of you in here tonight. And, man, the Beetle Lights, I mean, I think they're their own story. I think probably one of the biggest of the classes of cars tonight. So you guys had to jump 15 spots to get to that 6th overall, but getting that class win. I mean, I say, so who was the starter tonight? Was that you, Josh, or was that Zach starting it off?
I started the car. Yeah, double stint.
All right, so we got the Beetle Light Land Rush start. Take us through it, because these are kind of the lower powered cars, if you will. How was your point of view from that Land Rush? Because obviously we can only see so much of it at the start.
Yeah, so it goes back to qualifying when I actually messed up, and it ended up putting me on the wall for the Land Rush. So I just told the boys in Discord, I said, I'm just kind of back up and watch everyone drive into each other, because I know it's going to be a mess. Still got involved in a wreck on lap 1, as is tradition. But yeah, just spent a little bit of time, feathered the throttle, let everyone crash ahead, and yeah, don't rush into it.
Well, so I mean, yeah, and we talked to some of the other drivers too. I mean, it's not an event here. If you're gonna get caught up in something, there's just no way around it, obviously. So then you have to obviously work your way back up and make the moves to get back after it, and then yeah, like I said, then you're at the end of it. You're in the fight for it. We saw a few Beetles up there in the front multiple times. JP DeFino and his teammate were there for a while. So I mean, there was a lot going on. So. For you, Zach, I mean, was there any, like, let's say, defining moment or any anything that stood out for you? Or I mean, how was your stint?
My first stint was a little rough. I had a big incident, lost probably 30 seconds in turn 1, and I thought that was race over because JP and I believe it was Dan were running really consistent laps, doing really good, but they ran into some issues too, and luckily put myself in a decent position to capitalize that in my second stint and hopped into P1.
There was something that I forgot about. Sorry to jump in.
No, you're good. You're good.
So when we pitted that first time, I missed the pit box. So we basically did a drive-through penalty and then pitted.
Oh no.
And then we had that incident with Zach.
So yeah, you guys overcame a lot then. So I mean, just awesome job right off the bat on that one. And then yeah, so then we were chatting with some, like, during the race, I'll say one of the drivers, was before they hopped in there, but Cam Peterson had mentioned that the Beetles are really nice on fuel compared to the Subarus and the trucks and everything. How was that on your end on the fuel strategy? Did you have to kind of maybe plan accordingly? It's like, okay, we only need this many stops, or how'd that go for you guys all there at the end?
So the philosophy with our entire team is I'll be nice with words, of course, but just drive the crap out of it. Don't worry about strategy. And aside from when I did my drive-through and barely made it on fuel, Yeah, I mean, the strategy going in was just drive the wheels off of it, and we were kind of the seat of our pants when it comes to like driver strategy, but as it comes to fuel and everything, there was no saving. It was just full send.
Well, I say full send definitely was the way to go there. So I mean, obviously class win. That's obviously I think goal number one. So with obviously some of the mishaps you guys had, I mean, do you look back like, oh man, if not for this, maybe let's say obviously a top 5 or maybe even an overall podium, or is that something you even look at in general, or I mean, what are you guys looking at when you're on track?
So for me, the first 2 times I did this, I actually partnered with JP, and we had a huge crash last year here. And then I had a teammate, Joey, in April, and we didn't even make the start. So my goal was to just finish, maybe podium. Win wasn't even expected. And I don't know about Zach, but like for me, when we were getting to that class position, that's all I care about. I mean, overall it's cool, but the class position is what counts to me.
Nah, it was a really good round. So before we let you guys go, definitely want to give both of you the floor for any thanks and shouts for that class win here this evening.
Well, Zach told me to do most of the talking.
Okay.
So I want to thank all the guys at the NASA and ASN crews being super supportive, the entire JC SimSport team. We've got the Woodridge Wolfpack 98H and Debbie and Emma from Crown Creamery. They were watching, which is pretty cool. So Zach and my wife, Chloe, don't forget her. But Zach, I don't know if you have anybody else.
Just going to add my wife, Bailey, and you for providing the amazing team and car.
And one more, because I'm not used to doing interviews for outside of ASN, but I want to thank the Racecraft crew and Leone for all of this. This is super awesome. He's been trying to get us over there forever. And yeah, I'm super stoked to be here. Super cool. So thank you.
No, it was a great job, you guys. Like I said, it was a lot of fun watching you go after it, and yeah, go enjoy this one. And yeah, I'm glad you had some of your fans and family and sponsors watching, supporting. So yeah, go enjoy this one, guys, and look forward to hopefully catching you more of these.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
All right, now we're gonna jump over to our Pro 2 winners. So I gotta find them on my timing and scoring. There we are. It is the 294 here. Say Pacey Wiggins. I'll say hopefully not butchering the name. And I'm going to grab Pacey, and I'm going to verify the teammate because I don't want to grab the wrong person. So who's the partner in crime for tonight?
James Minch.
All right, so we're going to grab James as well. So apologies, but all right. So I say I got to apologize. I have a feeling I didn't give the Pro 2s enough love. There's so much going on, and then trying to figure out, okay, which ones are the Pro 2s, which ones are the Pro 4s. iRacing, or my overlays are a little rude and just kind of says you guys are all the same on the truck side of things. So you guys have the hardest job. You guys got the 2-wheel drive trucks, trying to do this on the dirt. I mean, obviously that's going to be a challenge just on the traction side of things. So is that a challenge that you guys enjoy, or what was this decision deciding factor to get you guys behind the wheel of these trucks?
My decision was based entirely off of James because he was not budging. He wanted to drive the Pro 2. I wanted to drive the Pro 4. So
under the bus immediately.
You know what? It worked out. We ended up with the class win. So shout out to him for
I'll
making
say
that choice.
So all thanks goes to James on this one.
Growing up, I've always loved like drifting and everything, so the 2-wheel drive just feels a lot more natural for me, and it's a lot more fun in my opinion.
No, I mean I have most experience with the Beetle Lite, so I can't say too much, but I think when I was running the 2s, it was always the Pro 2 Lights. I never got to do the full powered one, so I haven't got to do the full experience of that. But so I've asked everybody, so I got to ask you guys as well. So who was the Land Rush starter for this evening?
I was.
All right. So how did I say with the 2-wheel drive? I mean, so again, it's hard to catch everything that happens, but so the overall start, obviously, I feel like the 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, they're going to kind of get the kick off the line. Is that a good thing for you guys, or how are you all able to jump off the line, and how did turn one go?
I had possibly the worst start I could ever ask for. There's no grip on that grass, especially two-wheel drive, and I just got caught up in it and got hit from behind and hit from everywhere. It was not good.
Well, I mean, when you got 40 vehicles in a land rush start, I guess that's kind of inevitable, most likely. But yeah, so then obviously able to recover, work your way kind of forward. I saw you mentioning at the end there, so you had a really good fight there with Wes Graham, I believe it was, with the 298. And yeah, I mean, take us through the battles throughout the course of the race. Was there any kind of attention of where you guys were in class or everything, or was it just one of those, like, let's just run our stuff, and then maybe when we get to the final, let's say 15-30 minutes, see where you guys are at, or what was the plan there for you two?
I mean, the initial plan was just to have James start the race. He's far better working through traffic and avoiding just absolute chaos, and I typically have more speed over him, so we wanted to give him a quick double stint, and then the rest of the race was kind of up to me to either catch what he lost or maintain what he got. But by doing that, it also made us short on fuel, like 4 laps at the end. So I actually had to simultaneously sit there and battle Wes while saving like 4 laps of fuel. And I literally ran out crossing the line. Definitely did not have enough to go another lap, so I'm kind of glad it ended when it ended. But yeah, it was kind of hard to get out of the way most of the time for the big all-wheel drive cars, and it just, it's the group therapy. All heck, or all craziness is gonna break out. So it's just, let's see who has the least crazy race, and between my team and Wes's team there, it was a pretty close, and somehow we edged him out on fuel.
Nah, it's impressive to be balancing the fuel and the pace, like you said. I mean, it's too easy to give one or the other, obviously, where you start watching the intervals and you push too hard and run yourself out, or save too much and they get you in fights. So yeah, definitely hats off to be able to balance both of those. That's not at all an easy thing to do in any circumstance. And obviously in dirt, I feel like is probably even more tricky, just again because it's easy to get throttle happy on any of these vehicles in the dirt, because you're like, oh, I need the revs and send it. So yeah, really good job on that one as well, to, like I said, to be able to get the overall get the class victory. Again, when you're going up against all these 4-wheel drive vehicles, it's, like I said, I feel like, yeah, it's kind of the odd ones out, if you will, for the traction and all that. So awesome job to the both of you. We'll start off with you, Pacey, and then switch over to James. Definitely want to give you guys the floor. Any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for that win this evening?
Yeah, gotta shout out Ayers Design first and foremost for making the nice clean looking wrap we had tonight. Gotta shout out PBR Racing, great group of guys. We had actually 4 teams in the race tonight. We were the only ones to manage to claim a class win. So shout out to them for even just showing up and partaking in this awesome event. And a shout out to Jimmy for being the good teammate that he was all night.
All right, that leaves it to you, Jimmy. You get to close off. Any thanks and shouts for your side for that class win tonight?
I mean, mostly the same, but also obviously got to thank you guys for putting on the show. Thank Yes2 and all of them for putting it together, and I got to thank the wife for helping me put the kid to bed so that I could actually get on and race.
No, yeah, so you always got to get the significant other in there, or else to say your extra races may be lacking from going forward. So, but no, that's, yeah, and that's like joking but not joking. I say, yeah, there's a lot that you guys will have to kind of find the balance of to be able to do these things. So, no, I say definitely same thing. I say I owe a lot to my wife letting me do these kind of shenanigans as well. So, But yeah, it's a lot of fun. But guys, really, really good job. Like I say, getting that class win. I say you get to kind of hold it over your teammates as well. But like, come on, guys, where were your results at? But yeah, that's gonna finish up the 24 season over here with the Yes to Motorsports Group Therapy. But I say it'll be going on again here in 25. So I'd love to see you guys back in it. Give the Pro 2 some more love and go get some more wins with it. All right, good job tonight, guys.
Alrighty, thank you.
All right, so now we are gonna jump around here, and we're gonna grab these two fellows right now, and that is going to be Keenan Kuzin and Eli Singh. And so we chatted about them a little bit earlier in the race, and say they got the. I'm gonna have to make some guess. I mean, I see the plaid, that's obvious, but all right. So who's gonna make the announcement? Is the other one, is those jeans or what we got there?
It's how a Pro 4 would wear jeans.
All
yes,
right.
exactly.
I love the paint scheme. So you're gonna make one of my buddies real happy with the plaid. I say he's definitely a plaid man. But and then you got the eagle on the nose too. I mean, there's a lot going on here.
I gotta say, it's not just an eagle; it's also a Canada Goose, because we have the America represented with the jeans, and we have the plaid represented for Canada. And so the bald eagle is on the jeans, and the Canada Goose is there on the plaid.
I love it. I say that unfortunately, I say the bald eagle pops a little bit more. The Canada Goose kind of hides behind the plaid, so plaid might be the overall standout.
What can I say? Freedom rings, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
Next paint scheme, I need to see some like poutine or something on the side. That'll help it for me.
Copy.
But no, I mean, obviously you guys had a lot going on tonight. Able to grab the runner up on the Pro 4 side of things. I mean, there was a lot going on. I say there's so much going on in iRacing, and I say this will sound like an awful jab at you, Eli, but it's like, Keenan, I've seen your name in various iRacing events, and let's say if you ask me which ones, I would never know, but I've definitely seen that name in various things. I'm not sure if it's on the broadcasting side, on the racing side, or all of the above. But I mean, what brings you guys to be able to do this event here? Because it seems like it definitely brings a lot of names over here.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I was part of the broadcast team for the Crandon Championship this year. It was awesome to be able to represent the dirt road and the short course community to a broader audience and just to kind of showcase it for a whole week on iRacing socials. But I always would prefer to be in the driver's seat. And Eli is also pretty vetted at off-road racing, and just wants to break in a little bit more on the iRacing side. So I knew this was coming up. My usual teammates are all away on holiday, and was like, hey man, if this is a great opportunity to race against people like Josh Edmondson, Cam Peterson, and some really, really high-level drivers, but also do it in kind of a low-pressure environment and have some fun. Anything Yes to in general is just like, hey, if a race breaks out, everyone's pretty respectful, but for the most part, we're all just here to have fun and don't really I'm sure we all cared where we finished tonight, but it's kind of a result of the competition. So I was like, this is a pretty good opportunity to get your feet wet in the Pro 4 and feel at a land rush start and kind of do it with a smile on our face. And then by the end of the race, we were there fighting for P2 overall or P3 overall.
Yeah, you mentioned the land rush start. So did you give that honors to Eli to feel the chaos? Yep.
You bet I did. I don't know if it was honors or if it was more so he was just pushing off the fear that I was absolutely entirely paralyzed by for little bits of it. But I mean, honestly, I was told that it was going to be a wild time. I was told that it's going to be lots of fun for the land rush start. And I'm very glad that I was given the opportunity. Somebody said, I want to say, give your best starter the opening lap or something. I can't remember who said that, one of the admins. So I just want to say that, if there is an ability to change my name to best starter, that would be phenomenal. Thank you so much. All jokes aside, it was exceptionally fun. This was my first, I'm not even joking, it's my first race at Crandon and my first race in the Pro 4 truck. I've driven it one time at a trade show. So I just came into it expecting it to be chaos, and it was even more chaos than I expected, but all in the right ways.
And I think that nails it in the right ways. It's chaos, but it's chaos in such a fun way.
Yeah.
And like I said, and everybody embraces it, and it makes it so much more enjoyable in that way too. Like I said, everybody's competitive. You want to do well, but at the same time, like I said, it seems like it's just everybody winds up with a smile on their face at the end of the day in these things. So, Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And Keenan, I say you can give me a little bit of props. I did actually wish everybody a happy Boxing Day as well. So I feel like I should get some brownie points from you on that.
Absolutely, it's like Black Friday but worse or better. I don't know. That's I appreciate that, man. Again, shout out to Eli getting this delivery ready last minute. I was in the back of a rental car in the middle of Illinois or Indiana, wherever we were, and I was like, man, I really want to run this week, but I don't have a teammate. And then I just like a light bulb went off. I saw him post he was at PRI and was trying Crandon on some demo rigs and went, hey, dude, I've got a really bad idea. Let's do let's do that. And it ended up being a lot of fun. The racing out there was really, really good too. And I know the Pro 2 class was super tight there at the end. The rally cars looked like they were having a time. But it was probably one of the most fun vortexes I think I've ever done. I've done quite a few of them. So shout out to everyone at Yes2, Ian's, Chris, and everybody who puts this on, and you guys as well for the broadcast. This was a heck of a way to spend my Boxing Day.
Yeah, saying you big trucks are definitely bullying the Subarus and Beetles over the course of the race, but
sucks to suck, baby. Get out of the way.
I love it. Well, I'll say the thing is, I say Cam's gonna be like, yeah, but we got the P1 overall, so you know.
Yeah, that's okay. That dude's an alien.
Yeah, those guys are monsters.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But no, it was. I said, love the paint scheme. Love. I said, the story behind it too. It's just perfect. I said, and that's exactly what it is. Like, hey, let's go have some fun. All right, let's do it. And then bring home a third overall, second in class. I say, can't get much better from that. I say, like I said, you guys already know how all this works because you already started shouting out people already. So I say, whichever order you guys want, if you want to do paper, rock, scissors, whatever, for any thanks and shouts you guys want to give out for that runner up in the Pro Force tonight.
Arrow?
I mean, first things first, like everybody who watched us on Twitch, both me and Eli are streamers, myself at Aerotech and himself at Punju, supporting us through the race. That was awesome to look over and see all the support, and especially when we realized, hey, we might have a result here. We said 7th would be great. So yep. everything from north from that was great. Again, to everybody who puts this on, to the entire short course community, I was just telling Eli that, like, if you need help or anything, everyone's just kind of so stoked that you're into short course racing and iRacing. They're more than willing to help you with driving techniques, setup, and there's so many different leagues and stuff going on. It's such a fun little community once you put the time in to get in and start running some races. Chris Leone for being at the head of this whole thing, and everybody involved in the S2 admin staff. On my side, Next Level Racing for all their support, and I wouldn't be in this seat right now quite literally if it was not for them. And you guys and yourself, Gail, for putting on this broadcast and giving us a fun thing to do on a what day is it today? Thursday night.
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
No, it's like Christmas should never be on a Wednesday. That's all I had.
Just move it.
Yeah, right. I agree. Well, hey, to echo exactly what Arrow said, obviously to everybody who came out and supported both, he and I, that was really, really sweet. And it definitely helped the vibes and made us go even faster. I'm sure we gained a couple extra tenths for every single person who came and supported. So I appreciate that. The big one, honestly, is just for all you guys at, Yes2 and also here at Racecraft for on the broadcast and putting on the race. Like I said, literally my first, off-road race effectively. And I am so unbelievably hooked because of the people way beyond the actual driving itself, because the driving is only good because of the people that are inside the car. So for all the fellow drivers and fellow competitors for making it just the most fun I've had on this game in a very long time. Big thank you to every single driver and competitor and organizer. You guys are legends.
I appreciate it, guys, and I'm sure they do too. And I say now I got 2 more Twitch people to follow, so I already did some stalking while you guys were chatting. So, but no, great job tonight. Like I said, a really good result for a late edition, and it sounds like you guys have a good combo going. So I mean, maybe go after the full points thing next season. Be a lot of fun.
Never know.
Well, we'll
colon right bracket.
Yeah, well, it may not fit for. They say the whole scheduling thing. It might be better just to throw it together last second, go that route. It seems like it worked tonight. So
honestly, it's a winning formula.
I was thrown together last minute, and I turned out great.
There you go. That's the story, or that's the way you gotta do life. It sounds like just procrastination is the way to go. But no, great job though tonight, guys. Go enjoy this one. And then yeah, like I said, I hope we see you guys back on track together. So you guys did really well tonight, and it was a lot of fun, obviously. And then the interview is just even more fun. So yeah, great job tonight, guys, and look forward to chatting with you all soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cal.
All right. That is the number 14. That was Keenan Kuzin and Eli there. And I'm going to jump us back live because we're going to get the nice little overhead shots, hopefully, if it lets me, because technology doesn't always cooperate. And in this case, it does not look like it wants to. So what we're going to do is we're going to, again, no shyness here. We're going to jump back over to this 112 car because we've got to talk to the power that is Mr. Leone, because I hear you've got some points numbers, at least some of them.
Yes, we do. We have most of the unofficial ones. Now, the way that points work in Vortex, first of all, this is the Whose Line Is It Anyway of Racing series. Everything's made up and the points don't matter. But we do this like a desert racing format where instead of, you have a certain amount of points for winning and then second and then third, and then it goes the other way around. There's a certain amount of points for last, which is 500 points. Then we go up 100 for second to last, so that's 600. We go up 100 points for third to last, that's 700, and on and on and on. So if you're in a big class, you get a ton of points. If you're in a small class and you win, you still won, you just get fewer points for it. So it is a very difficult mathematical system to do on the fly, and it's my own fault. So chances are I'm going to look through some things and realize, I might have done some math wrong. But before I say anything, I can't crown an official overall Vortex champion tonight. The reason for that, Cam Peterson and Josh Edmondson came in tied. They ran in different classes, different vehicles, and Josh's teammate had an issue that forced Josh to run the race all by himself. So I actually have to review the race. That's legal because the driver got in, there was an emergency or some sort of situation where they couldn't run. We have rules where we allow that. We don't normally allow solos, but there is an allowance for emergency situations, failures, etc. like that. I've got to review it. I've got to figure out where Josh actually finished. I've got to apply the points penalties there because he was a little further down in the class anyway, and then I've got to figure it out from there on the overall. So we don't have an overall champ tonight. We do have class champions, though, because none of them were affected by any recalculations that we need to do mathematically. And again, keep in mind, I might have done this totally wrong, but per my scratch math, Pro 4, or as we call it, Unlimited Truck 4-Wheel Drive, that's Zach Blanche and Nate and Gecko Ramsey. 3,900 points. They came in with 2,100. 16 trucks in that Pro 4 class, which meant 2,000 for the winner. They finished third, so they get 1,800. Congrats to those guys. In the Subaru class, that was Teal and me. We finished second in class out of 8, which meant 1,200 points to the winners. That was Cam and Sean, and 1,100 points to us. We came in with 1,900, which ends us with 3,000. We had a great battle all year long, which I just want to shout out the Squadris Dunzede guys, Russell Peterson, Matthew Morris. They were great competition all year long, and we were running second and third for a lot of that race. So, they kept us on our toes all year long, and they had a hell of a season as well. The Pro 2. Pro 2 is always the small class, so it's kind of really interesting how that one ends up working out. We had multiple drivers in that class that were all within 200 points of one another, and this really came down to that final finishing order. Jimmy Mensch, champion, won the racing class with Pacey, came in with 1,300 points. At 1,000, that's 2,300. Wes Graham also came in with 1,300 points, 900 for second, that's 2,200. Anthony James with the AMX guys came in with the lead, 1,500. Must have had some stuff happen during the race. I have him at 600 points for tonight, which is a total of 2,100. So all of those guys were super, super close. And then finally, the Beetle Lite class, another huge class, 14 vehicles, which meant there were 1,800 points on the line for the victory. Josh Mertz and Zach Goddard came in, played spoilers, got the victory. This one came down to the Moist guys, Brian, Eric, and Marcos, versus the Saints versus Sinners guys, JP DeFino, Dan Carrito. So Moist came in with 2,200. Saints and Sinners had 2,000 coming in. Saints and Sinners finished second, which means they got 1,700 points, so I have them at 3,700. Moist came in with 2,200, finished third. That's 1,600, which means 3,800, which means the Moist guys get the title. Again, all unofficial. I'm doing this math on the back of my entry list sheet with a pen just kind of scrambling, so I could be totally wrong on one or more of these classes, but that's the preliminary math. We'll do the actual math at some point later in the week, but I'm fairly confident that those are our champions.
Well, I trust your back of the entry list math more than my own. So, but that's the thing is, like, I mean, this is a season long thing. Obviously, it's only a couple races a season, but like I said, if you can run each of them, I mean, and you there's a lot of classes, and if you're trying to go for the championship, then you maybe go for the lower numbers, which right now is the Pro 2, but I mean, as you know, the builds will change and different vehicles will become even more fun but I mean, we had a lot of vehicles in every class. The Pro 2s were probably the lightest, but the Pro 4s, the Subarus, the Beetle Lites, they were stacked. We had a lot of cars in each division, so there's a lot of points battles in that one as well, and of course all the bragging rights of trying to be like for you and I. Obviously, I know with the Pro boys, there was the internal pro fight that they were trying to be the highest of the Beetle Lites of their crew, and it's just so much fun and. I enjoy it.
No, exactly. It's the camaraderie of real world off-road racing as well. You know, everybody, you all get together, you all have fun, you know. It's a wonderful sport. It's an amazing sport, you know. I'm grateful to our folks at iRacing, you know, for doing what they've done with it. Obviously, I am always of the side of let's do more, let's do something different, let's add some things, you know, and you know, certainly I don't know that any of my bosses are watching, but they, you know, I'm not shy about saying, hey, let's try this, let's do that, you know, and I'll probably continue pushing until the end of time. But, you know, we're lucky to have a great platform here, you know, where we have a lot of fun. We get to do a ton of cool races like this. You know, as I mentioned, Yes 2 obviously has tons of things going on. Almost every Thursday of the year, almost every Saturday of the year. You know, we've got something different. These races are special. We only do 3 a year. But, you know, we have some longer solo races of this that we do, which we'll announce some plans on shortly. Like I mentioned, we have a Ken Block Memorial event coming up next Thursday at 7. We've got lots of stuff on late Saturday nights, our kind of Mickey Thompson themed coming up, the Off-Road Championship Grand Prix. That's going to run late. That's going to run after Supercross. So all you Supercross people, you're not going to miss anything. I'm going to be watching that stuff too. So yeah, there's always something cool, something different going on. We'll turn anything into a rallycross car that we can. We'll turn anything that we can into an off-road truck. It's just what we do. We love doing it. Appreciate everybody who showed up. All are always welcome to come race with us. The more the merrier. You know, we just love having fun in this league and doing everything that we do.
No, it's like I said, every time it's a blast. I mean, you could hear it in the interviews, and yeah, like I said, I enjoy every time. If in the booth, if on the track, like, yeah, there's always a good time. So I really thank you, Chris, for putting these on. Like I said, I need to get out to the regular ones as well more often, the Thursdays and Saturday nights, because those, like I said, when I make them, I'm always laughing the whole time. So big thank you to you and everybody over at ES2 for hosting this and putting these things on. Because yeah, it's a ton of fun. And then yeah, if your bosses are watching, Chris does an awesome job, and listen to his ideas.
Appreciate it, Gil. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, it's a blast to do these things, and it's really special to have the community response particularly with this one, with the sheer amount of drivers that we have come in. We have real world pros, we have championship caliber drivers, we have Coke Series drivers, we have guys who have been pro in, other world championships. We have just such a cool mix of people that run these things and watch these things and and try to make it, whenever they can. It's really special.
Yeah, no, I was saying, like I said, it wouldn't be like this if not for the organization behind it, man. So, yeah. So now, hopefully, once you do your math, relax, breathe, and go enjoy the rest of this holiday, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again, Gail. Appreciate the hell out of all the work you do on these.
I say it. Like I said, you and everybody else on track, you make it fun to do because there's always so much to enjoy.
Right on. I'll let you wrap up. Thank you.
All right, take care, Chris. Good job, bud.
You too. Thank you.
All right, so that was Chris Leone again, kind of the mastermind, if you will, behind this ES2 Motorsport stuff over here. And again, like if you enjoy this kind of stuff, I mean, go find them. I say there's plenty of it happening, so definitely check them out over with ES2 Motorsport. So for that, like he said, let's say we're gonna wrap this thing up. So big thank you to the guys over at Racecraft TV for letting me hop on and get to pull this off. So Josh and everybody over there, appreciate you guys letting me be a part of this as yet again. It's a lot of fun to do. Like I said, there's times where I get greedy. I want to get on the track and race it, but at the same time, I can't help it. It's so much fun also being able to broadcast these things as well. So everybody that watched, that supported us, I saw a bunch of people chatting on YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting your friends, your family. It's a lot of fun. It lets me be able to interact with you all a little bit more, be able to kind of same thing, focus on some things that maybe I didn't notice at the time. So I appreciate everybody's interactions as well. It just makes it all the more enjoyable on my side as well. So yeah, big thank you all to everybody that watches, that supports us here. Again, let's say you can find this stuff over on Yes to Motorsport. Obviously, lots of other racing on Racecraft TV. Definitely, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to get notifications when those events are happening. And other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. And yeah, as always, of course, as I always say, please, especially over the course of the holidays, take care, stay safe, have a good night. I'll see you all next time.